Hello, everybody, and welcome into Jimmy John's Field as we get ready to kick off another weekend of USPBL action. Tonight, it is the Utica Unicorns playing host to the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Before we go any further here on Irish American Heritage Night, let's take a moment to thank all those sponsors that make this broadcast possible. Belfort Property Restoration, Budweiser, Corwell Health, Dave and Buster's, DTE, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom Audio Video Solutions, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Refrigeration, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealer, Pepsi, and United Wholesale Mortgage. We thank each and every one of the sponsors that make us possible to bring you baseball here on the USPBL Network. Brady Beaton alongside Brendan Pagel. And Brendan, we should have a pretty fun matchup here tonight. Two teams that won more than they lost a weekend ago. Two of the three teams in the hunt for first place. Should be a good one to kick off another weekend of USPBL baseball.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look back at some of these games that the Mammoths and Unicorns have played, the Unicorns do hold the slight 5-3 advantage in the head-to-head series, but if you look at the overall standings, the Mammoths are in first place with the Unicorns only 1.5 games behind. Should be anyone's game and should be another great game here at Jimmy John's Field.
And we mentioned the standings last week. It was the Mammoths that leapfrogged the Diamond Hoppers to take sole possession of first place, currently sitting at 14-9, East Side 15-11. The Unicorns only a game and a half back of the Mammoths, so this is a big game as we start to eye up the home stretch of the season. The Unicorns can bring it within a game. Mammoths can give themselves just a little bit of extra room, and it's going to start for both sides, and a big reason why they're in this spot, the pitching. Tonight, it's Zach Zaborowski, the known commodity for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and Logan Lee, one of the newest pitchers in the USPBL for the Unicorns. Brendan, right there, you can see just the stark difference in sample size of these two pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can start with Logan Lee. He only has one start. He went 3 innings. He does have the 1-0 record with a 200 batting average against him, with a 1 strikeout to 2 walk ratio. Again, you might say, why did he start and only have 3 innings? Well, that's kind of what the Unicorns do. The Unicorns are very quick with their pitching rotations. They like to use a lot of different guys, and honestly, that's probably what their Unicorns are probably going to do today. As for Zach Zaborowski, like you said before, he's a little more established, 27 innings pitched with a 1 win and 2 loss record, with a 212 batting average against, with 36 strikeouts to 19 walks. I think Zaborowski is especially interesting because his last start was against this Utica Unicorns team, where he went 5 2/3 innings, only gave up 2 hits, including one of them being a 2-run homer, but he had 12 strikeouts in 5 2/3 inning, which is absolutely absurd.
And Zaborowski, he's been solid. He's been one of the reasons why the Mammoths are in first place. However, the Unicorns, their offense is starting to come along a little bit. Now, they're nowhere near elite by any means, but they have pulled themselves up, and the pitching has stayed on pace. And with the offense coming along as well, they're making for a pretty dangerous ball club.
Absolutely. I mean, when I kind of look at the Unicorns, like, I don't necessarily see a super high-powered offense, kind of like you said. Obviously, they have Jared Weber, who's a great power hitter, can hit a lot. But I think the Unicorns just want to play sound, fundamental baseball. They want to put the ball in play, make you make the mistake. That's kind of what the Unicorns thrive on. They try to make you play into their own box, and if they can do that, they normally come out on top. So it's going to be important for the Mammoths to kind of get ahead of them early to make sure that the Unicorns can't control that game in that particular way.
Well, you talk about getting ahead early. For the most part, after 3-4 innings, the Unicorns, if they're winning, they usually hold on to win. If they're losing, they don't come back. And when they're tied, it's basically a coin flip. After 4 innings of play, when the Unicorns are winning, undefeated, 8-0. When they're trailing after 3 innings, they're 1-10, and when they're trailing after 4 innings, they're 3-5. So it's basically right down the middle. You talk about the start. The numbers back it up. The first 3 innings are just vital for both sides.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, kind of like I was saying earlier, the Unicorns play such good fundamental baseball that they will not particularly lose a whole lot when they have that lead. If you want to look at it from the Mammoth side, if the Mammoths have that lead and can get into that bullpen with Bo Atkins and Aaron Evers, the Unicorns are going to be in a lot of trouble if that's the case, because those two guys are just really, really good.
And usually when the Mammoths get rolling offensively, it's very contagious. Now, a couple guys out. Francis Florentino still on the IR. Zach Beadle, the newest Mammoth, on the IR. But Anthony Sharkis, he's come back from injury. And while he didn't really miss a beat as soon as he came off, getting a couple hits in his first game back, I know Taylor Jelenkowski was thrilled to have him back. He didn't want to rush him, but when he finally was ready to go, he couldn't have been any sooner for the Mammoths.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Anthony Sharkis is a hit machine. He'll get your singles, your doubles, everything you need. But even if you look at the rest of this lineup, you got guys like Fox Liam, who's a superb power threat. Colby Seltzer, who hit an RBI double the last time the Unicorns played the Woolly Mammoths. And then even if you look all the way down to Drew Fleming at 7, I mean, that's an insane power bat to have all the way that low in the lineup. This is really just a loaded batting lineup here for the Mammoths. And again, the Unicorns are going to have to pitch really well if they want to win this game.
A brand new face leading off for the Mammoths, the third baseman, Jake Walker, as he comes to us from Purdue, Fort Wayne. A brand new bat to lead it off. Nick Pastor batting second in center field, as we mentioned, Anthony Sharkis, the DH. Then Fox Liam batting fourth, the walk machine with some power in that 4 spot. Colby Seltzer at shortstop, he bats fifth. Jose Cedeno, he's been a bat that's been heating up for the Mammoths. He's in the 6th hole, right in front of the aforementioned Drew Fleming in right. Hank Dotson is behind the plate batting 8th, and Dre Williams-Nelson rounds out that lineup. I mean, you look up and down that lineup, there's guys that can do damage. I mean, naturally there'll be a little bit of fall off, but not as stark as you'd see in a lot of other lineups.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think a lot of the lineups you kind of look at is like, all right, where's the guy that we think we can get kind of routinely out? I don't think the Mammoths really have that kind of player. Obviously, we'll see what Jake Walker can do today in his debut, and Hank Dodson is also kind of relatively new to the league. But I mean, besides that, a lot of these other guys like Pastor, Sharkis, Fleming are really established guys that have performed really well in this league. So by no means really is there an easy out on this Mammoth starting lineup. And
for the Unicorns, there is a little bit more of an offensive drop-off, but some of the guys in the middle, you mentioned Weber earlier. Austin Ochoa, I think, has been a really nice piece for Jim Essien, the skipper of the Utica Unicorns. He's just been steady as he goes, a 257 batting average, his OPS in the 700s. He's a guy that I think is anchoring the lineup in one that doesn't have a lot of superstars, but he's been at one of the few bright spots.
Yeah, he's been really good. And actually, if you look back at his last start, he was the person that hit that two-run home run off of Zach Zaborowski the last time the Mammoths and Unicorns played. So obviously, he's seen Zaborowski really well. So who knows? Maybe he can be the big spark plug for the Unicorns today. And I also like Patrick Baggett, too. Really solid hitter. He'll hit you a lot of singles, doubles. Still looking for that first home run of the season. But again, just a really solid player and plays a really good shortstop for the Unicorns as well.
Two of the first 3 hitters for the Unicorns in Baggett and Cam Farrar. Not going to supply a ton of power, but they're going to get on base more than when they don't.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just really good fundamental baseball that these Unicorn players play, and that should play well against the Mammoths today, and we'll see how this game goes.
The Unicorns getting ready to come out on the field. Again, we mentioned earlier the standing so imperative, as it has been a battle at the top of the hill. Mammoths, Hoppers, Unicorns. I know the Hoppers are sitting at home watching on. Is later in the week. It's the Hoppers and the Beavers. That's actually tomorrow. And then these two teams will rematch again on Saturday in a twin bill for a doubleheader. So getting this early edge, if you're the Mammoths, you're thinking we can really put separation between us and the Unicorns if we have a stellar week. And if you're the Unicorns, you go 3-0 against the Mammoths. And listen, the Beavers and the Diamond Hoppers, those chips fall where they may, but I know I can guarantee you we can end the week in no worse than second place if we win all the games in front of us.
Oh, absolutely. And I think especially looking at that doubleheader Saturday, because we talk about how the Unicorns use a lot of different pitchers, it's going to be interesting to see how they use that bullpen today. I would assume they're going to do something similar in terms of their kind of pitching rotation and bullpen use of whatever. But at the end of the day, when you have that doubleheader coming up on Saturday, you got to probably at least think a little bit about, okay, how are we going to manage these guys? We've got to use these guys again on Saturday. So that's going to be something else I'm definitely going to have my eye on.
Yeah, because you mentioned how the Unicorns, they like to give everyone an inning or two, which is nice. And if the plan works out, yeah, most guys should be able to come back Saturday. However, one inning goes sideways. Now you're asking another guy to stretch out to 2 or 3, and that shortens the bullpen for Saturday. We'll see how much leeway Logan Lee gets on the bump for the Unicorns. It's the Westside Woolly Mammoths and the Utica Unicorns. We'll step aside when we come back. Starting lineups and first pitch here in the USPBL Network.
The USPBL powered by UWM baseball games at Jimmy John's Field are the fun and family-friendly experience you won't want to miss. Entertainment every week, including Thirsty Thursdays, fireworks every Friday, live music Saturdays, and Sunday fun days for the kids. Kids run the bases after every game, and parking is always free. Come see the stars of the future at Jimmy John's Field. Get your tickets today at USPBL.com.
I'm Anthony Tomey, CEO of Tomey Group, and we're one of the largest Jimmy John franchisees in the country. With 50 Jimmy Johns and over 700 employees, it's a challenge to manage operations. What could possibly go wrong with owning 50 Jimmy Johns? People don't show up, equipment fail, run out of bread, no tomatoes, we need onions. Many different things can happen. Tryon allows us to really focus on the food and the operations of the restaurant.
And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
back here on the USPBL network, getting ready for the Westside Woolly Mammoths and the Utica Unicorns, kicking off another weekend of USPBL baseball. Gorgeous night for ball, temperatures in the 70s as you see. Sun is shining brightly. That center field flag, it lays limp. There's no wind to speak of. Couldn't really put this night together any better for baseball.
No, I mean, it's a great night. You see a few clouds in the sky, but nothing looking threatening. Going to be a really nice day for baseball. Beautiful 70-degree day. And just, again, like I said earlier, a great day for baseball.
And again, getting us started on the mound for the Utica Unicorns, Logan Lee, one of the newest members of not just the Unicorns, but the USPBL on the pitching staff. Lee, again, not a lot of action so far in the USPBL, just those three we mentioned, or 3 innings we mentioned earlier. Westside native, he's from Rockford, Michigan, the 6'3", 240-pound alum of Northwood University. So spent essentially his whole playing career in the state of Michigan. He continues that in the pro ranks.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome story for him. And as we kind of talked about earlier, he had that 3 innings, I think last Saturday when he played in the doubleheader against the Diamond Hoppers, where he did get that win. So again, when you face a lineup as good as the Diamond Hoppers, that can help you prepare for another really good starting lineup like this Woolly Mammoths team.
Absolutely, just stepped right into it, had the has the momentum coming into the matchup. As Lee, you look at the mix he'll come at you with. He goes a fastball and a slider. Those are his 2 most prominent pitches. Then a sinker he'll mix in, a changeup and a curveball every once in a while just to keep you honest. So a 5-pitch mix for Logan as he tries to navigate this West Side lineup.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to have to use some of those breaking balls to try to induce some swing and miss on this Woolly Mammoths team. They can chase a little bit because, again, they have those really big power guys that want to do a whole lot of damage, so they could be a little prone to chasing. I think a key for Lee in this game is to make sure that they get those breaking balls out of the strike zone and get the Woolly Mammoths to swing and miss.
Well, we'll get this started with Jake Walker. Comes up to the plate as we're ready to play ball here on a Thursday night. Thank you so much for joining us here on the USPBL Network. Brady Beaton alongside Brendan Pagel. Lee makes the last-minute adjustments. Walker into the box as the Lafayette, Indiana native waits. First pitch swung on and fouled high in the air. First pitch tonight at 7:08, so just a hair behind schedule. Yeah, no worries.
Not bad at all. And again, Jake Walker swinging first pitch of the USPBL career. How about that? I'm not going to let you get ahead of me. I'm going to go swing, see if I can do something with this first pitch. I like the approach.
That was 90 right down the pipe. Next pitch, grounds one left side. Waist-high hop. Ochoa fires over, and Walker retired by a step. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the first as Lee makes quick work of the newly debuting Walker.
Yeah, not really a hard hit ground ball. Ochoa kind of just fielded it cleanly, threw it on, and then, like you said, beat him by a step as Walker got down the line really quickly.
Here's the Unicorn defense presented by 3-Dimensional Services. Enos, Farrar, and Aquino in the outfield left to right. Ochoa, Baggett, Demetral, Weber in that same order. Behind the dish is Ethan Kreisen for the Utica Unicorns as Nick Pastor greeted with a fastball away for ball 1. 1-0, another fastball, low 90s, just above the top of the letters, 2-0.
Yeah, it makes sense that you don't want to exactly go into Pastor because Pastor, again, 303 average, really good hitter, can hit for power too with that home run.
Pitch, Pastor didn't like it, and that was a pitcher's pitch to say the least. That one a bit away, but gets the call, 2-1. Next offering, similar spot, doesn't get the call that time, 3-1.
Yeah, it makes sense as a pitcher. I mean, you want to kind of go right back to that spot. When you get the call before, it makes sense you want to keep attacking it.
3-1 to Pastor. Wave and a miss. He's behind on the 91-mile-per-hour heater.
Gets you now into a full count. Again, if you're Pastor, you want to now know what that kind of strike zone might be. So if it's close, you definitely want to try to swing at this and foul it off.
And he gets it by him. works back from 3-1 to get the strikeout. 2 up, 2 down, and it's looking to be a quick first inning unless Anthony Sharkis has anything to say about it.
Yeah, it's a really good start for Logan Lee. You get the 2-pitch ground out, and you have a little bit of a longer at bat with Pastor, but you do end up retiring him on that 3-2 pitch to get the strikeout. You're right where you want to be if you're Logan Lee and the Utica Unicorns so far.
Righty-righty matchup. First pitch, breaking ball fouled towards the first base coaching box, 0-1.
Surprised that breaking ball got a lot of middle there. I'm a little surprised that Sharkis wasn't able to barrel that one up because, as we said before, a really good hitter hitting 345 was a lot of damage on mistakes, so I kind of feel like Lee got away with that one.
And maybe sitting fastball, because that's what he's been very heavy with early in this game is fastball. But a pitcher like or a hitter like Sharkis probably don't want to mess around, play games. Hey, throw what you think's going to get him out, especially with 2 away. You want to get out of this inning quickly.
Absolutely.
This Mammoth lineup can put a rally on in a hurry.
Oh, for sure. I mean, as we said, this lineup is absolutely loaded for the Mammoths. So again, if you're the Unicorns, you do not want to play around with really any of these guys because all of them can do damage.
1-2 to Sharkis. Lee, long look into the windup. The 1-2. Rolled over to the left side. Baggett ranges to his right, throw to first, and Weber able to keep it on the bag, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the first. Unicorns come up to bat in the bottom half of the inning here on the USPBL network.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
USPBL network. Utica Unicorns coming up to bat. Let's meet their starting 9. Leading off, the center fielder Cam Farrar. Andre Demetral bats second. He plays second. Patrick Baggett at short, batting third. Jared Weber, he's over at first base, batting cleanup. Austin Ochoa at the hot corner, batting fifth. Jose Aquino out in right field, bats sixth. Ethan Kreisen behind the dish, bats seventh. Kyle Schmack, your designated hitter, in the 8th spot. And Ryan Enos, the left fielder, batting ninth. They face the right arm of Zach Zaborowski, as we've established, one of the more, established arms in the USPBL. There you see the numbers. The record doesn't look good, but most everything else is pretty solid for Zach.
No, absolutely. The stats, a 3.9 ERA, very good. Strikeout to walk ratio, also very good. Again, Zaborowski throws a 4-seam fastball, slider, changeup, sinker. So definitely going to try to use that slider to offset a little bit of the fastball sinker movement. And again, this is the same Zach Zaborowski that had a really good outing in his last outing against this Utica Unicorns lineup. So we'll have to see if the Unicorns made any adjustments today to see if they can do better against Zaborowski than they did last time.
Well, he'll be facing 8 righties in the lineup. In fact, the only possible left-handed bat that he can face is in the 3-hole, Patrick Baggett. He's the lone switch hitter right now in the USPBL. So a lot of advantageous matchups for the righty Zaborowski. He gets us started with a slider away for ball 1. He loves that slider. Just under half the time he'll throw it. That one lifted in the air, shallow right field. Fleming has it in his tracks, doesn't need to fight the sun, and it's 1 up, 1 down.
That's the pitch mix that we're talking about right there. He opens it with the slider, then comes with the fastball. Probably a little too much middle with that fastball than Zaborowski would have liked, but gets the result he wants anyway.
Here's the Mammoth defense presented by 3-Dimensional Services. Cedeno, Pastor, and Fleming in the outfield. That's left to right. Liam, Williams, Nelson, Seltzer, and Walker, the newest Mammoth, right to left on the infield. And it's Hank Dotson receiving for Zaborowski on a Thursday night. First pitch, front door breaking ball finds its way into the strike zone to Andre Dimitrol, count 0-1.
Yeah, that slider had a lot of movement. Looked like it was going to hit Dimitrol, then kind of just got in there, snuck on that strike zone.
Same pitch, but this time away, 0-2. If you can sequence your pitches like that, you're going to have a lot of success.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you get that kind of sequence and that kind of location, there's not really a whole lot really anyone can do. And this Unicorns team that doesn't exactly hit maybe as well as a team like the Diamond Hoppers or the Mammoths would struggle maybe even more.
Fastball 93, can't find the corner. I like that idea. Slider. You can try to nibble on 0-2 there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of working backwards, right? Normally you kind of start with the fastball, then go the slider, but this time Zaborowski went with the slider and then the fastball after that.
91 gets a swing and a miss. Dimitrol chased one below the knees. And Zaborowski trying to outdo his counterpart Lee and get a quick first inning. It'll be up to Patrick Baggett to get on base or at least slow this inning down for a moment.
Yeah, and again, as we kind of talked about earlier, Patrick Baggett is that type of guy that can kind of hit that single, double, can force a long at bat, that can kind of get this pitch count up a little bit for Zaborowski, who's been going through really quickly through the first 2 batters.
First pitch to Baggett, the lone lefty he'll face, misses with the fastball. 1-0.
Yeah, this time he goes with the fastball first. He was opening with the slider a little bit earlier, and at least on the last at bat he did, and this time he opens with the fastball. So really nice job sequencing there.
Lifted into right center field. That one's trouble, and it gets down for a base knock. Baggett turned on it, got enough of it, and it's a 2-out single. It'll bring up Jared Weber.
That just seems like kind of a prime Patrick Baggett, Utica Unicorn swing. Wasn't exactly drilled, but hit pretty well and hit in the right spot. That's really all you can ask for. And now you get a guy on for your best power hitter in Jared Weber. And who knows, maybe the Unicorns can strike first here and get on this Woolly Mammoths team early.
Baggett on the year, 9 for 10 on steal attempts. Not a bad spot to try to swipe a bag. If you go and get caught, all right, Jared leads off the next inning. Not the worst spot to be in, but if you're able to get up to second, all of a sudden you're in an RBI opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially with a guy like Jared Weber, he could just get a single then with Baggett's speed. He could easily score and get the Unicorns at early leads. So I'd like that idea a lot if they decide to do it.
Rolled over to the left side, off of Walker's glove, took a funky hop, and there's 2 on with 2 away.
Yeah, that one was hit really good and did kind of take a high hop. Probably is a play that should have been made, but again, it's still a really tough play. I know the Woolly Mammoths won't like that, but at the end of the day, it's a play that probably should be made.
Yeah, that was tougher because he's going back deep into the hole, and it takes the shoulder high hop as Walker tries to grab it.
It's what so many of us are looking for.
And that's one that came off
when
the bat
it comes to getting a mortgage. How can you find the one that's perfect for you?
Give Weber the hit for that as Ochoa waves and misses at the first pitch he sees.
Yeah, I think also going back to that last play too, I feel like maybe it's a little different because you kind of expect Weber to maybe even hit the ball a little harder than he did there, and that also could have been what potentially ate him up there.
0-1 to 0-2. Nasty pitch, gets the wave and a miss.
Yeah, you don't think that Zaborowski forgot what happened last time? He opens with 2 sliders. This one below the strike zone, absolutely filthy. I bet he's probably going to get a similar pitch here.
And on the hand, similar pitch, and all he can do is foul it away. So 3 straight sliders. Do you come back with the fastball, maybe a rare changeup from Zaborowski, or do you just keep what's gotten you to 0-2?
If you do run the fastball, I think it's definitely got to be on a corner and up, because I don't think you want to definitely throw a fastball in the middle for a player of this caliber.
Slider was lifted into foul ground. No one can get to there. Liam and Dotson both cut their losses as the count remains 0-2.
Yeah, you can just tell when a pitcher like really feels good about a certain pitch that they have, and you can just tell that Zaborowski loves the slider. You can tell it in the pitch usage. You can see how it is in this game. It's been really well located. You can see why Zaborowski really likes that pitch.
2 on, 2 away. It's been a pair of 2-out singles for the Unicorns. Baggett and Weber, back-to-back knocks. The 0-2. Swing and a foul. Another slider, another foul tip. Ochoa, he's battling.
Yeah, it almost kind of feels like Ochoa is waiting for him to throw that fastball. You've been seeing the slider. He's been now fouling it off enough. He's maybe timing it up a little bit too, but I still think he's waiting for Zaborowski to finally throw that fastball.
The 0-2. Like a sinker action, and it missed low and away. 1-2.
Hiked up the velocity there on that sinker. Not exactly the fastball pitch, but again, kind of the similar speed that Ochoa was looking for, but again, wasn't that close, so he took it.
Strike 3 called. Dots it on the low outside corner at 92. A couple of 2-out base runners, but nothing more for the Corns. We head to the second. Scoreless here on the USPBL Network.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
With a transforming world, we can see how drastically the world is heading towards automation. And so, we need 24/7 surveillance and security systems for our homes and businesses to avoid any theft or breach of privacy. JARPCOM brings the installation of security cameras to the tip of your fingers with our state-of-the-art mobile app. JARPCOM also provides surveillance monitoring of your entire property with flexible options that offer a dependable solution to be scaled to fit any domestic or commercial need. Contact JARPCOM today for a free estimate at 800-369-0374 or look us up on the web at jarpcom.com.
Back here on the USPBL Network, scoreless. So we head to the top of the second. It's Fox Liam, Colby Seltzer, and Jose Cedeno due up for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, as Logan Lee is going to want to repeat what he had in that first inning. 3 up, 3 down. Ball didn't even leave the infield.
Yeah, that was a really efficient first inning for Logan Lee, getting that one strikeout, getting those other quick outs too on the ground ball, especially the lead off the inning. Again, I mean, that you kind of want to do the same thing, but you kind of have the heart of the order now when you have Fox, Liam, Colby Seltzer, Jose Cedeno. That's a really tough 3 you got to face, and it's going to be really interesting to see how Logan looks.
Lefty Liam. First pitch, rare check swing from Fox. He went around, started him off with the off speed.
Yeah, kind of taking the page out of Zaborowski's book there. Zaborowski threw the slider. This time Logan Lee also throwing a off-speed pitch here to get Liam out early.
Turns on one, keeps it fair down the right field line. Liam takes the turnaround first. He's heading to second. The throw in is offline, and it's a leadoff double for Fox Liam.
That's a really good swing. Kind of split that hole there between first and second. Got it past the right fielder. It felt like Liam hesitated a little bit turning the corner from first, but still made it in with a nice slide there and a really
if
good
your
start
account
to the
doesn't
inning for
get
the
you
Mammoths.
pumped, amped, or geeked,
miles per
make
hour
the
off
switch
bat
to
for
Genius
Fox
Checking
Liam.
from Genesis Credit Union.
Smoked that thing.
It's just
Liam
genius.
didn't even realize how hard he hit it, because Aquino could have made it over, but that ball just had so much velocity on it. It was by him in an instant.
I kind of think that's why Liam hesitated a little bit as he was rounding first.
Brings up Colby Seltzer in an early RBI spot. Lee, the first time today out of the stretch, the 1-0. Finds the pitch away.
A little interesting there. It looked like that first pitch caught a lot of the zone there. That one a little more outside, but I guess at the end of the day, it probably would have been a 1-1 call or 1-1 count anyway, and we're there anyway, so.
Fouled away 1 and 2. Yeah, we got to the destination. We just didn't take the recommended path.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good at the end of the day. But again, you know, obviously batters will want it to be a little consistent. And again, we're going to see the umpire is also going to try to establish his zone early on in this game. I think we're still finding it a little bit. But again, it's early. Guys are going to always adjust. And I think at the end of the day, we're going to be all right.
1 and 2 to Seltzer. Lee set the pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew it by him, 90 at the letters. And it's 1 away with a runner on as Jose Cedeno comes to the plate.
That is a beautiful pitch. Absolutely painted there on that little outside corner there to Seltzer. Really not a whole lot you can do unless you're absolutely looking for that pitch 100%, and just snuck it by a really good spot and really good pitch.
Jose Cedeno. Couple ticks over 300 on the year. Looking for RBI number 9 if he can find a base knock to bring Liam in. Playing him pretty deep in center and right field, so even the second baseman, Demetrol, he's a step or two out onto the outfield grass.
Yeah, I think it's because Liam's a little bit slower there at second base. He's probably not an ideal speed threat for a single, so you might need to get a gapper to end up scoring Fox here on a good swing here. But again, I think it's all those fundamentals and alignments we were talking about earlier that the Unicorns are just so good at.
2-0, Jose ahead in the count. Behind on the pitch, 88 caught a lot of the plate. That's one you want back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're Jose Cedeno and you're a really good hitter, you want to hit those really good pitches. The good news is, again, you're still a really good hitter. You can get another pitch that maybe is a better pitch and can still do damage with it, but that's definitely one he's going to want back.
Count goes to 3-1. The ever-dangerous Drew Fleming waits on deck.
Yeah, as we said earlier, there are no breaks in this lineup. So, yeah, you can pitch around Cedeno. That's fine. He's a really good hitter, but so is Drew Fleming, and so are all these other guys. So kind of pick your poison.
Ball 4. Cedeno gets on via the base on balls. The first free pass issued by Logan Lee. And that puts runners on first and second for Drew Fleming.
Yeah, this is a big spot for Drew. I feel like he's been scuffling a little bit recently. But again, the awesome thing about this league is you get constant opportunities to try to right your wrongs. And there's a really big opportunity early for Fleming to see if he can give his Mammoths team an early lead here in the second inning.
So the average is not anything to gawk at 228. However, you look at some of the, just a little under the hood at some of the deeper numbers. The OPS is going to be north of 800. He's got a lot of power in this bat. When he runs into one, it goes a long way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what Fleming's here for. He's here to hit those home runs, to drive those balls in the gap, that can score these constant Mammoth base runners, because that's what makes this offense so good.
He has 13 hits on the year. 4 of them have gone over the fence.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, you can, even by looking at him, you can just tell that this is a guy that hits for a lot of power. He's huge, very strong, just makes a lot of sense.
Been a bit indecisive, some check swings. He's able to hold up there, but I don't think he's seen the ball very well out of Logan's hand right now.
No, and maybe that's kind of why he hasn't really played up to his standard recently and why he's been scuffling a little bit. Maybe he is a little indecisive, but at least he's reading it early enough to where he's not chasing some of these pitches that are well off the zone.
2-1, up high, 3-1, and now you're in the danger zone. Do you put a cookie in there to Fleming, or do you risk walking him and loading it up for Dotson?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tough situation either way. I also kind of feel like Logan Lee's just losing it a little bit. He walked Cedeno. He falls behind to Fleming here. He really needs a strike here.
There was one thing on the mind of Drew Fleming on that swing, and it was not punch it into right field for a single.
No, if he would have got a hold of that one might have landed in Canada. I mean, that was an absolutely mammoth, no pun intended, swing there by Fleming.
The payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. Lee gets the call near the outside border, and Fleming, not happy with it, has to take the long, lonely walk back to the dugout as the third strikeout victim of the day of Logan Lee.
Yeah, Fleming definitely thought he had one there. You could kind of see him taking 2-3 steps towards first until the umpire rung him up. Kind of a tough spot. As you can see, it's definitely a little bit off the plate, but again, this umpire's established he's calling a big strike zone today, so guys are just going to have to adjust.
It's up to Hank Dotson, the Utah native. try to drive in his second run in his career.
Yeah, Dodson relatively new to the league and gets a really good opportunity here to help out his team early on.
Nice breaking ball. Nips the outer part of the plate. Quickly 0-2. So Lee was a pitch away from putting himself in trouble, and now he's a pitch away from getting out of it pretty scot-free.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a little breath of new life here, and that's kind of what Lee's gotten. You can kind of see his confidence kind of rising, and he's throwing the ball really well because of it, it seems.
Fastball misses, 1-2.
Really, both these guys, though, are really loving their off-speed pitches. Same kind of thing with Logan Lee. He kind of attacked with 2 off-speed pitches there before. And obviously, Zaborowski was pounding those sliders early on. So both guys really liking those pitches so far.
1-2 and a dribbler, foul. Dodson will stay alive.
That was a nice little one-handed snag there by Ethan Kreisen off the one bounce right at him. That wasn't hit all that hard. But again, when you're right there and that ball is kind of coming in, just kind of human reaction, just stuck out that bare hand, just grabbed it. It was a nice snag.
He was ready to make the play. Inning started with a double from Fox Liam. It's been 3 batters and he hasn't moved off that base. Long pause. 1-2. Away with the breaking ball. 2-2.
Yeah, again, if you're Dodson, I mean, 2 outs, 2 guys on, you kind of just have to survive. You've been seeing what some of the other guys have been getting. There's been a little bit more of a outside call for the strike zone. So again, if you see something close to there, you got to kind of just stick your bat out there and just kind of live to see another
Maybe
day.
crowd the plate a little more.
Yeah.
Oh, crowd the plate and get hit. Dodson takes one off what looked like the forearm, and the bases are loaded for Dre Williams-Nelson.
Yeah, it looks like the fastball maybe just slipped off the hand a little bit, kind of got him up and in there. Looks like that Dodson's okay trotting down to first, and that was a little scary. You don't want to get that fastball up and in like that.
No, and yeah, you never want it near the chin, but even the hands.
Oh, yeah.
That you have no padding there. That's how you lose guys for a month, 2 months, when you take one in the wrong spot in the hand area. Glad to see Dodson not really, well, I guess no sell it is maybe it caught the forearm where there's a little more meat there to protect it.
Yeah, and I think it's even more important with Zach Beadle going on the injured list. The Mammoths are kind of running out of catchers here. They really need Dodson to stay healthy.
Taylor Jelenkowski was seeing ghosts in that third base coaching box.
Oh, yeah.
1-0 to Dre. Half-hearted hack goes across the plane, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Logan Lee's aiming for that outside part. He knows the umpire's expanding it a little bit. So if you know you're getting that, keep going out there. That one did catch the strike zone. Really good painted pitch there. But yeah, I feel like Logan Lee and probably Zaborowski are both going to attack that area probably from here on out.
Bases loaded in a scoreless game here in the second. Lee comes set. The 1-1. Little dribbler could be tough. Lee picks it up, flips to first, and it's over the head of Weber. The error scores 2, and the Mammoths have the lead here in the early going.
It's those PFPs, man. You always practice those early on in the season, and you kind of get tired of them. It's like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to make that play. Well, for whatever reason, I feel like pitchers struggle with that all the time. I find that crazy. You can throw, like, these 80-mile-per-hour sliders and stuff that can dot strike zones, but sometimes that little lob to first can be even more challenging for whatever reason, but it works out for the Mammoths as they take an early 2-0 lead.
How many high school and college coaches, whether they're in attendance or watching here on the USPBL network, are pointing right now going, that's why we do PFPs for 20 minutes every practice. I know it's boring, but that's why we do it. The inning goes on as Jake Walker to the plate. Quick throw over to first. Dre back.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do, obviously that error would have got you out of the inning with nothing, but when you extend the inning for these Woolly Mammoths batters, you're just asking for trouble. So Lee's got to get out of this really quickly here.
Fastball called strike. 0-1 to Jake Walker. Grounded out to the left side.
Yeah, I mean, in your debut, you got a chance right here to drive in another really important run. If you really want to make your team happy, this is a great way to get this hit right now.
0-2, beautiful pitch, had Walker fooled.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that breaker is just paint right now. Him and Zaborowski are both loving that outside corner with that off-speed pitch. Really good pitch there.
Runners on the corners, 0-2. The delivery. Swing and a miss. 90 got it by him, but the damage was done. The error scores a pair of runs as the Mammoths take a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the second. You're watching USPBL Network.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
It's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Home Brewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. 2-0. Zach Zaborowski and the Westside Woolly Mammoths have the lead as the Unicorns come to bat in the bottom of inning number 2.
Yeah, it's a really tough break for the Unicorns. You had the bases loaded jam, and you were going to get out of it, but that just little misflip at first cost them 2 runs, and now you're kind of facing the barrel here with Zach Zaborowski back on the mound. He looked really confident, looked really good in that first inning. So really, if you're the Unicorns, you're going to have to try to find a way to string a few hits together, see if you can drive in those runs and get it right back, because this is not a good situation right now if you are a Utica Unicorn.
And we mentioned it in the pregame. After the first 3-4 innings, basically, and it's even more of an outlier, but basically whatever the Unicorns are doing after 3 or 4 innings is how the game's going to end. Very rarely do they flip a result for better or for worse. Hey, if they have the lead, their pitchers are going, they're good to go. But if they're struggling to get out of the station, rarely do they ever figure it out and make a late rally.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of that consistency that we've talked about, you know. Obviously, the Unicorns are looking for more consistency with the bats, but they play rather consistently, both usually in the field and hitting wise. They just would like to have more production for that consistency.
Aquino, Kreisen, Schmack due up as the first pitch at the knees for strike 1.
Zaborowski mixing those pitches really well, opening a lot of guys with the slider. This time opens Aquino here with the fastball. Just really good pitch sequencing and really just kind of just guessing up there at this point.
Hard hit fair down the third baseline. That's all the way into the corner. Running after it, Cedeno. That's an easy double. Jose Aquino with a leadoff double mirroring the top half of the inning, and the Unicorns are in business trying to cut into this 2-0 lead.
That was an absolute rocket. Just stayed fair there down the line. Hit 102 miles per hour off the bat. That ball was absolutely hammered. It hopped up, and it almost looked like it was going to go over the wall, but it did stay in for the left fielder, Jose Cedeno, to throw that one in. But that's the exact start you want there at the Unicorns, and you really need to try to string some more hits together to take that lead right back or even just even it up.
Those are the swings you want to bottle up, and when you get into a funk, you want to be able to go back and harness some of that. That was a pretty swing and a pretty pitch to start off Ethan Kreisen. Slider away for a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I mean, that last pitch that he threw to Aquino was a slider, and it just barely touched that inside part of the plate, but Aquino just turned on it and kept it fair. Just really good pitch, but a better swing.
The 0-1, wave and a miss. The slider evades the bat, 0-2.
Yeah, you think that slider feels pretty good for Zaborowski right now? He loves that pitch.
Too.
He's getting some ugly swings here by the Unicorns, and honestly, you just got to keep going to it. It's looking so good right now.
I think you got to go fastball here. Kreisen used the timeout. I think you're in his head, fastball away.
It's not a bad idea either.
0-2. It looked like a sinker low and in, got the swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Ethan Kreisen as it's one away with a runner on second.
That was kind of just bullying. Those were really two really good sliders, and even that sinker, even if he didn't swing, that's right on that bottom corner. There's nothing you can do with that. If you're Kreisen, just really tough at bat there for the Unicorns. Nothing you can really do. That's just better pitching.
We were talking about it off the air in between a couple half innings ago, how the sinker and the fastball for Zaborowski, there's really no velocity difference, and usually a sinker will have be like, all right, if you're sitting at 92 with the sinker, your fastball is probably 94. There will be a slight difference. Not with Zaborowski. It's the same speed. One just goes straight, and the other's diving below your bat.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes it even more lethal, right? They're coming in at the same speed, but you can't really see which one it is until the very last second, whether it is that sinker or that fastball, and those pitches just play really well off of each other.
Kyle Schmack quickly in the hole, 0-2. And a very defensive swing just to find a piece of it and stay alive.
Feels like Zaborowski can do whatever he wants with the slider. He can have it dart out of the strike zone. He can have it be out of the zone and dart it in last second. I mean, if you're the Unicorns, what do you even do with this pitch? It's just looking so good right now.
Swing, and he tucks it inside the third base line. That will score a run. Aquino comes around to score as Schmack plays trading places, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
I guess that's what you do with it, right? You just keep it right down that third base line, just like Aquino did 2 batters before. And now look at the Unicorns are right back in business here. Yeah, that error hurts a little more now because you would have had that lead, but you're positioning yourself right back in it to bring it to a brand new ball game. Just really good swings here by the Unicorns.
I will say for Zaborowski, one of the old cliches I use is be process-based, don't be results-based. That was a good pitch, and I don't think Schmack saw it well. He just found a barrel. Now that one's hit hard, but right at Pastor. So that one, maybe not the best process, but you got the better result with that pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a common saying in baseball, it's better to be lucky than good. I mean, that double wasn't hit now it was still hit pretty decently, but it wasn't hit nearly as hard as that line drive there. But again, Mammoths catch a break there. You got 2 outs, runner on second, and this is really a really huge at bat here for Farrer and the Unicorns offense.
So it was just a cameo for Ryan Enos as the lineup turns over and Cam Farrar at the plate. First pitch misses away. 1-0.
Open that one with the fastball. Again, really good pitch mix by Zaborowski. You never really know what's going to be coming first.
Farrar lifted one into right field to lead off the bats for the Unicorns last inning. Wave and a miss. One and one. Farrar rates. Zaborowski, the deal. In the dirt. 2-1. One with the changeup there. One of the first times we've seen that tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say the speed looked similar, but the movement was not there. It definitely looked like the changeup. And again, this is a really good spot for Farrar. You got the 2-1 advantage. See if maybe he'll throw a cookie here and see if you can drive this run in.
Swing and a miss. That's a sinker coming in on the hands. That's you're not going to do a whole lot with that pitch.
No. I mean, if you have the sinker running in and the slider running the other way, you kind of have to say, okay, which one is it? Now, obviously, the sinker moves a little quicker, so you kind of have to react to that one faster, and it kind of just plays in your head as a hitter. You don't really know what to do.
Lifted to center field. Pastor has a beat on it. The Unicorns get a run back, but they strand Schmack at second, who picks up his first RBI of the game. 2-1 Westside. We head to inning number 3 on the USPBL network.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood
and reset our life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
of the third, 2-1 Westside as the 2-3-4 hitters due up for the Mammoths. It's Nick Pastor, Anthony Sharkus, and Fox Liam scheduled to hit here on Irish American Heritage Night. And we have some of our Irish dancers entertaining the crowd here at Jimmy John's Field.
I mean, that's just so awesome looking at that. Like, I'm trying to like picture myself doing that. I feel like I'm like would slip and fall on my face. I mean, that's just really impressive moves there.
Very coordinated. The Motor City Irish Dance Crew, as they head off the field, and Pastor heads back into the box. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. Logan Lee has only given up the one hit. That was the double to Fox Liam. It was a walk and a hit batter that really exasperated last inning.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's kind of uncharacteristic for the Unicorns. The Unicorns normally play such good fundamental baseball. They normally just get beat because the other teams out hit them, but really in that inning, they kind of self-destruct a little bit. Obviously, you had the Fox Liam double that helped and put a lot of pressure on the Unicorns early, but again, they still had an opportunity to get out of it, and they couldn't just quite do it.
First pitch to Pastor, turned on it right to first base into the glove of Weber. He'll step on with the left foot. One pitch, one up, one down as Anthony Sharkus comes to the plate.
Couldn't ask for anything better there for Logan Lee or the Unicorns. I mean, Pastor is such a dangerous hitter, can do a lot, and if he gets on base, you better look out for him to run. But if you can get rid of him on one pitch and you kind of get into a little bit of a flow here for facing Sharkus and Liam, that's really the perfect thing for the Unicorns.
Sharkus rolled over to short to end the first. Way out in front on that off-speed 0-1. He was sitting fastball.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think he definitely was the first time, too, because he got that middle-in off-speed pitch in the first at-bat last time Sharkus was up, and really all he could do was just foul it off. So, again, I think he's definitely sitting fastball. Obviously, that's the pitch that Sharkus does the most damage on, and it makes sense.
That one high, but not far, coming back into the stands, and, well, someone's going to get a souvenir.
Yeah, that ball barely got out of play. Landed just before the first row, so kind of catch a break there if you're Sharkus. You got a little bit of a breath of new life here, and you're down 0-2, so obviously it's not going to be easy, but let's see what you can do.
On the Jimmy John's Field is very unique, where the straight behind home plate is the least amount of foul territory.
Yeah.
0-2, check swing, somehow got a piece of wood on it. Straight behind home plate, what would you say? It's 20 feet of foul ground, maybe from the back of home plate, where you go near first and third base, you have maybe 100 feet between base and wall.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's almost like the entire left field distance on each side.
Right.
It's definitely more interesting for wild pitches, too, because really if you want any sort of advance, especially to home on a wild pitch, it needs to trickle off the catcher and go either to the left or the right. If it goes straight back, you're not going to make it.
1-2 taken the other way. Aquino comes over, makes the catch on a jog, and it's 2 quick outs for Logan Lee and the Unicorns here in the top of the third.
Yeah, there's a lot of sun out there in the outfield, but Aquino did a really nice job just kind of keeping an eye on it, tracking that ball, making sure the sun didn't catch him there. Really good fundamental play right there. And 2 quick outs for Logan Lee, which is really all you can ask for the Unicorns.
The only person to get a hit off of Logan is Fox Liam. Ripped a double down the right field line last time.
way, shape, or form.
1-0. Breaking ball over the middle of the plate. That's one Fox might want another hack at.
Yeah, I think he was definitely setting fastball there, but man, if he was looking for that breaking ball, I think that ball would have went a really long way.
Pitch misses inside. Ooh, Lee slipped off the mound. Seems to be okay. One thing to note, we talked about how unicorn pitchers are usually pretty quick hooks. They like to use a lot of different arms. No action in the unicorn bullpen. So it looks like Logan Lee, assuming he's all right after that slip, will be able to, as long as the score lets it, get a few innings, get some length out of him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his last outing, he only had the 3 innings pitched against the Diamond Hoppers. Now, it was in a doubleheader game where there was only 6 innings, so maybe that was also part of the reason, but maybe they're going to try to just extend Logan Lee, knowing that you have multiple other outings, especially a doubleheader coming up on Saturday against these same Mammoths.
Yeah, anytime you have 21 innings of baseball in a weekend, you have to find a way to stretch a few guys out. And if you can get out of your starter on Thursday night, then you have most of your staff for Saturday. That's going to make the job for Jim Essian so much easier and stress-free.
Oh, absolutely, especially with how many times the Unicorns rotate their guys. If you can get so many fresh arms in that bullpen, it just kind of, it gives you like an entire hand of disposal to use whenever you want. And again, when you face a team like the Mammoths, you kind of need all your arms to be the best that they can be.
Tell me if you've heard this before. Full count to Fox Liam. 3-2. Fouls it away. He's good for minimum one of these at-bats a game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he can drive up a pitch count really quickly. And again, that was a really good pitch. It probably would have been ball 4 below the strike zone, but again, it was a pitch that's really close. Even if Liam puts it in play, there's probably not a whole lot you can do with that. So that's really impressive just to kind of get a bat on it and just foul it off.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The delivery. Wave and a miss, and Logan Lee wins the battle. That is strikeout number 4 on the day, and we head to the bottom of the 3rd, but not before. That strikeout is our 5th third out of the game. Logan Lee wins the battle against a tough pitcher for our 5th third out of the game. And with that final out as we head to the middle of the 3rd inning, also means it's time for JJ the Water Boy. JJ makes sure our field umpire is ready and hydrated, and for his efforts, he'll get a treat as well. So JJ, the star of the show, rewarded for his hard work. We head to the bottom of the 3rd, 2-1 Mammoths on the USPBL Network.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Westside over the Utica Unicorns. 2-3-4 due up for the Corns. Demetrol, Baggett, and Weber as Zach Zaborowski looks to continue what's been a, well, the numbers say a not so strong outing, but Brendan, I think the eye test says it's been pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the credit just goes to the Unicorn hitters for just finding a way to hit these baseballs down the line and do damage with it. It's really not a whole lot of Zaborowski. It's just really good play by the Unicorns, and now you have the heart of their lineup right here to potentially add even more.
So you look at the 4 hits. Patrick Baggett, who's on the on-deck circle, he hit one pretty hard into right center field. That was a solid hit. And Jose Aquino had a really solid hit down the left field line. Hardest one of the day at 102. Might be the hardest hit ball of the weekend. But Schmack, he doubled. He had a long swing, a defensive swing almost, that he just tucked inside the third base bag. And Weber, he hit it hard, but it was semi-playable as well. So the 4 hits might be a bit inflated as, wow, quick work of Demetrol. Zaborowski, 3 pitches, sets him down for strikeout number 4.
Yeah, I sound like a broken record, but man, is this slider so good. Woo. That one was in there all the way, just kind of darted out last second and low too, kind of a double move there on that one. There's just nothing you can do if you're Demetrol there.
Baggett comes to the plate. As we just mentioned, singled his last time to right center. First pitch, over for a strike.
kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, though, with these hits, I mean, really, your job is to put the ball in play and see what can happen, right? It worked for the Mammoths when Dre Williams-Nelson just kind of hit a little dribbler back to the pitcher. If you just put the ball in play, something good can happen.
This one put out of play. Back behind the grandstands, 0-2.
And obviously the job becomes a lot harder putting the ball in play when you do go down 0-2 and have to face the kind of stuff that Zaborowski offers. So again, probably not the best spot if you are Patrick Baggett. But again, if you want someone to be down 0-2 that could get a knock for you, I would say Baggett's probably the guy for the Unicorns.
Fastball would have been behind a right-handed hitter. Easy take for Baggett, 1-2. 3 straight heaters. Baggett crowds the plate from the left side. Wave and a miss. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter. Comes at him with the slider and gets strikeout number 5 on the day.
Again, same slider, really good. This one almost darting in, almost hit Baggett, and it almost looked like he kind of swung in defense there as that ball kind of broke in so hard, so late. But again, it works out well for Zaborowski and just keep adding the strikeouts on the board. That's
a bad feeling as a hitter. I think he got probably 40-50% of the way through the swing and realized this was a bad idea. Back-to-back strikeouts for Zaborowski, and it's up to Jared Weber to try to put a ball in play.
And it's all off that pitch kind of complementing each other, too. You throw the 3 fastballs first, and I was like, all right, I kind of see what the fastball looks like. Then all of a sudden, he gets that slider that darts in, and there's just nothing he can do about it.
And then he comes back with that sinker that has the opposite break, and you're right, it's almost pick your poison. You have to sit on a pitch. But if he's locating multiple, that's what makes Zaborowski so tough, and that's why his strikeout numbers have been pretty darn strong this year.
Yeah, I mean, again, he threw the slider right there. That one painted the corner. The sinker looked really good, too. But, again, you probably don't want to put it in the middle, especially against Jared Weber, who can do a lot of damage. But, again, when you sequence your pitches as well as Zaborowski can, you can get away with pitches like that.
A quick look for the baseball that ended up well behind Weber. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Nobody on in the 2-1 game. Bottom of the 3rd. Brady Beaton and Brendan Pagel here on the USPBL Network. Thank you so much for making us a part of your Thursday night. Zaborowski comes set the deal. Ground ball to 3rd. Walker knocks it down on the backhand. Fires across the diamond. Won't get there in time. Weber reaches, and it will not be a 1-2-3 inning for Zaborowski. He'll have to face Austin Ochoa.
The Unicorns really like that third base line, don't they? They had those 2 doubles down that line that snuck through. That one was gloved there by Jake Walker, but kind of bounces off the glove, and Weber gets down the line quickly enough to make sure that he beats it out and extends the inning to Ochoa. And again, you don't want to give extra outs, especially to this kind of middle of this Unicorns lineup, because Ochoa can do a lot of damage.
Going in the books as an E5. This time Walker fields it, goes the short way to Williams-Nelson. No harm, no foul. We're through 3 innings of play. Mammoths have the 2-1 lead here on the USPBL Network.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
into the middle innings, and the Mammoths have a 2-1 lead. As Logan Lee back out there again, he's been solid for the Unicorns. A pair of unearned runs, the difference as he gets ready to face Colby Seltzer, Jose Cedeno, and Drew Fleming.
Yeah, you don't really get much breaks in this Mammoths lineup, but a really good bounce back inning for Logan Lee there. It could have been easy to kind of get in your head a little bit after making that error, but he's bared down, has faced some really good Mammoth hitters, and really took care of them with ease. So that's a really good job and kind of just pitch resolve there by Logan Lee that last inning.
We've seen 9 strikeouts combined in the first 3 innings. It's been a lot of swing and miss. One of the victims coming up to the plate, Colby Seltzer, he's hoping for some better hacks here at the 4th.
Oh yeah, I mean, he got some nasty pitches that last time and was put away rather easily. But again, you look at those stats there, that 300 batting average, those 5 home runs. This is a really good hitter and one you definitely have to be careful of.
First pitch, slow off speed in the dirt. Easy take for Seltzer, 1-0.
Kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, like the Unicorns are going to need to try to generate some swing and miss on some of these chase pitches, but the Mammoths overall have done a pretty good job laying off some of those really kind of darting pitches down. So again, that's just really good credit to the Mammoths hitting as well as to the pitching here by Logan Lee too, trying to get that kind of resolve.
2-1 to Seltzer. Lee from the first base side of the rubber into the motion, pauses, big leg kick delivers. Couple bounces into the glove of Baggett, sidearms it over, and the leadoff man retired for the 2nd straight inning. Seltzer 1 up, 1 down as Jose Cedeno comes to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, again, you don't want to get base runners on for this Mammoth team because you just face good hitter after good hitter after good hitter. It almost feels like a personal victory anytime you get any of them out because it can help you down the road for these next few innings because, again, all these guys are so good. But, again, I mean, it's all right if you're the Mammoths. You're kind of just feeling it out now. You have the lead. Just got to try to string some things together if you want to do something here this inning.
Still only 1 hit for the Mammoths. They've had 4 base runners. They all came in the 2nd. It was a double from Liam. This man at the plate, Jose Cedeno, walked. Hank Dotson was hit by a pitch, and Dre Williams-Nelson reached on the error.
And again, that kind of just tells you all the stuff that Logan Lee's been throwing today. He really only has given up that 1 hit, that Fox Liam double. Then he missed a little bit the strike zone there with the walks and the hit by pitches, but he's bounced back really well so far throughout the rest of this game as of now.
2-1. Lee delivers, wave and a miss, way out in front. That slow pitch. Think that's the curveball. That might be the 3rd time he's shown it this inning. He only threw it about 1 out of every 20 pitches last time.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at that one was painted in that inside corner.
Nearly a check swing double for Cedeno. And he'll stay alive. The count remains 2-2.
Yeah, I think the Unicorns are kind of holding their breath there, and they saw that one. Wasn't that hard hit, but almost landed fair, just couldn't quite keep it fair. And Cedeno comes back up here with a 2-2 count and looking to see if he can do a little bit better straightening this one out here.
2-2. Wave and a miss, no problem for Logan Lee. Strikeout number 5 of the evening. 2 up, 2 down for Westside as Drew Fleming tries to avoid the 1-2-3 frame.
This has been, I would say, a pitching clinic for breaking balls. They've been painted really well. They've been disguised really well by nice fastballs and sinkers. They're darting in, out, down. It's just a really tough day to be a hitter in this game because both these guys are doing really well.
I'd say the most aesthetically pleasing pitching matchup I've seen from both sides. I've seen plenty of outings where one guy's on and maybe the other's not. This has been the best duel I've personally seen, I think, this year here in the U.S. PBL. And before I can finish my sentence, Drew Fleming's behind the count 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you've been looking at this matchup and how all these guys are pitching, you'd think it should be 0-0, but we're even scoring runs here too. So you're kind of getting a little bit of everything here.
2-1 Westside. We're in the top of the 4th. Lee, 2 runs he's given up were unearned, although the error was his own. The 1-2, low and away, 2-2.
I feel like if you're Drew Fleming here, even if you get out, you just need a little bit of a barrel here to kind of regroup that confidence. You've been kind of, you talked about it earlier, he was kind of indecisive on some of those check swings, maybe lacking a little bit of confidence there. I think you just want to see one hit hard and just kind of get the sense of, okay, you're doing well again.
Count goes to 3-2. The shadows are a little nicer to the hitters now that the sun is starting to set a little more. It doesn't have to cross through as many and as stark of a difference with the shadows.
Yeah,
so that could help Drew as well. Payoff pitch on the way. Corkscrews one foul.
And I'd say even if he can draw a walk here, that kind of tells you that his process is still pretty good. Maybe he's not getting the barrels that he's looking for, but at least if you kind of establish a situation where you're making sure that you're not chasing, that can also really just do well for you as a hitter.
3-2. Ball four, there's the walk you were talking about, and Drew Fleming reaches with two away. Brings Hank Dodson to the plate.
Yeah, again, you don't want to extend hitters or extend innings for these Mammoth hitters because they can do a lot of damage. Now, you are facing the 8-9 part of the lineup, which normally is a pretty decent spot to live if you do give up the two walk or a walk to extend the inning. But it's really not the case with the Mammoths because of how many really good hitters are in this lineup.
Fleming, very conservative lead off of first. First pitch breaking ball over for a strike. Looked like the slider.
Yeah, that one caught a lot of middle there, too. If Dodson was looking for that, that could have been trouble for the Unicorns.
1-1. Pitch drops below the zone with the curveball.
It almost feels like some guys need to kind of start changing their approaches a little bit because I feel like they're not sitting early breaking ball and just keeps being early breaking ball on really on both sides.
This one popped high into the air, foul ground. Weber squeezes the mitt. The two-out walk does not come to pass, and we head to the bottom of inning number 4. The Mammoths, they lead it 2-1. You're watching the USPBL Network.
You know, they say losing hope, that's the real disaster. Last year, Tropical Storm Fred sent a devastating wall of water and debris down this river. And when the waters receded, Belfour was here. Not just to rebuild, but to help restore the life of this community. Belfour, restoring more than property.
I'm Anthony Tomey, CEO of Tomey Group, and we're one of the largest Jimmy John franchisees in the country. With 50 Jimmy Johns and over 700 employees, it's a challenge to manage operations. What could possibly go wrong with owning 50 Jimmy Johns? People don't show up, equipment fail, run out of bread, no tomatoes, we need onions. Many different things can happen. Tryon allows us to really focus on the food and the operations of the restaurant.
And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
First State Bank is a
Bottom of the 4th, 2-1. Westside Woolly Mammoths lead the Utica Unicorns in a, well, the scoreboard might not indicate pitcher's duel, but it has been a pretty display of pitching so far tonight. Jose Aquino, Ethan Kreisen, and Kyle Schmack do up. These were the three that came up in the second inning that led to the Unicorns' only run.
Yeah, kind of an unlikely kind of three-man group there that kind of established the runs for the Unicorns. But again, you're going to absolutely take that if you're the Unicorns because you kind of expect a lot of your runs to come from the Farrer, Demetral, Baggett, Weber, or Choa group. If you can get some of these established guys like Aquino, Kreisen, Schmack, Enos, all those guys, if you can kind of get them going, you can put yourself in a really good spot to get that more offensive consistency that the Unicorns have been looking for.
Aquino last time just ripped one down the third base line. It was a slider in on the hands, and he didn't miss it. Let's see if Zaborowski tries to work some of the fastball here early in the count.
Maybe. He might even try to establish the changeup a little bit, too. We haven't seen that a whole lot this game, but that could be a nice complement to that slider-fastball mix.
Goes with the hard stuff, misses low and away. Lunging swing, fouls it back. That's the slider away. That's where Zaborowski's been making his money tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's where he's been living. Those painted sliders and maybe even painted fastballs a little bit, too. I know that first one missed pretty well on that fastball, but he's definitely been living on those corners and has been really doing really good job keeping it consistent, hitting those areas.
Able to go through the front door for a strike. I don't know if Aquino liked it, but up here saying that indeed was a strike. That's basically the pitch he ripped down the line last at bat.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, you just kind of kept it fair, pulling the hands in, did a good job.
Way in on Jose. He's able to jump out of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's not going to like that one. I don't think Aquino would think that he would go inside because of his ability to hit it down the line like he did last time. But again, Zaborowski showing that he's not afraid to continue going back to that spot that he think will work.
Taps it foul. Out in front of the slider.
Yeah, at this point, I think maybe the best offense that the Unicorns and Mammoths can do is just trying to get each of these starting pitchers out of the game because they both are pitching with a lot of confidence right now.
That was just pitch number 50 for Zaborowski. Despite the high strikeouts, he's been pretty efficient. Sounded like a broken bat, fly ball, and Fleming had a little trouble reading it initially. All's well that ends well, and it's out number 1.
I'm not sure if I saw this incorrectly, but it almost looked like Fleming slipped a little bit as he was trying to come in. I don't know if he just lost footing or like he kind of lost it in the sun for a second, kind of stopped and slipped a little bit. Either way, really nice job by Fleming to recover, make sure he got the catch there. And again, just another really good out and really important out for this Mammoths team.
You could see the way the shadows are positioned in right field. That ball was probably directly in that line. So I think a pass to Drew if he didn't see it perfectly off the bat as Ethan Kreisen fouls off the first pitch he sees for ball 1.
Yeah, if you're kind of looking across this field, there's definitely some sun in center field, but it's just coming down hard, blaring down on you in right field. So really good job by Fleming just staying with that baseball.
The 0-1. Little low, little away, 1-1.
Yeah, Ethan Kreisen, not exactly known as a huge threat with the bat, but again, I mean, kind of anyone can be a hero today with how well these pitchers have been doing.
It's a fastball on the black away. And we've talked about it the last 3 innings ad nauseum. When he's locating 3 different pitches like this, it makes hitters' lives tough.
Yeah, and I mean, Kreisen was the guy that got kind of destroyed by the sliders last time Zaborowski was throwing. So you can see a little bit of an adjustment here. That was the fastball that he fouled off there, but...
Yeah, 2 pitches in the 90s back-to-back. I'm almost certainly going to see slider here.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like Zaborowski is in some of these hitters' heads, too, and the slider was so good last time. There it is.
Or not.
Yeah.
90 miles an hour gets it by Kreisen. He zigged when we thought he'd zag, and it results in strikeout number 6 for Zaborowski. 2 up, 2 down. And the Mammoths looking for their first 1-2-3 inning of the game, believe it or not.
That is kind of crazy to think about, but just looking at that fastball right on the lower outside part of the strike zone, you pair that with the slider that keeps darting out, that's unfair.
First pitch, looked like the sinker over for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, you can just tell Zaborowski is pitching with so much confidence right now. He's painting that strike zone. Really every pitch kind of feels and looks good to him right now, so it's just doing really well.
Rolled over to third. Walker picks it up between the legs. Strike to first. Liam brings it in for the third and final out. Unicorns go down in order. We've played 4 complete. Mammoths holding on to the 2-1 lead here in the USPBL network.
Locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood
and discover the funner you hidden within you.
Go, that one.
The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
The you want to be.
Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games.
You know you want to.
Downtown Utica, USPBL Network, as it has been a gorgeous night for baseball. There you see our updated weather. Temperature in the mid-70s, just a slight breeze, maybe a little on the humid side. No rain in sight. And, well, I wouldn't want to ruin a great baseball game like this. 2-1 Westside. So we're in the 5th. The Mammoths coming up to the plate. They send up 9-1-2. That's Dre Williams-Nelson. That's Jake Walker. And that's Nick Pastor coming to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, Dre Williams-Nelson was the guy who hit that little dribbler last time that ended up having that error, which ended up being huge for this Woolly Mammoths offense, giving them their only 2 runs. And who knows, maybe the 9-hitter Dre Williams-Nelson can kind of get an opening spark here this inning to see if the Mammoths can add on to that lead.
So Dre Williams-Nelson, he struggled as of late. He got off to a pretty good start in the season, and we know Dre that if he starts to see the ball well again, he can put up big numbers. And at the 9 spot, hey, if Dre Williams-Nelson is your 9-hitter, you have a pretty solid team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dre Williams-Nelson is a very good hitter. He might be a little in between right now, and you can maybe even see that a little bit on that check swing there. But this is still a really talented hitter that can do a lot of damage if you're not careful.
Logan Lee in his 5th inning of work. This is pitch number 76, and still no shuffling in that Unicorn bullpen, curiously enough. So Lee has, well, no restrictions. The leash is off for him. If you're going to pitch like this, why not?
Yeah, I mean, he's been really good. Just absolutely painting these pitches. Just a really tough at bat for Mammoth hitters right now.
Wave and a miss at a fastball high and away. 1-2.
In fact, he's been so good that there was finally a Unicorn in the bullpen. It was just to get a foul ball that rolled in there. I mean, he's just been absolutely dominating since that 2nd inning. So really good job by Logan Lee. And it's, again, like we talked about earlier, it's just so important because of that doubleheader on Saturday. You want to save as many arms as you can.
1-2. That one lifted back out of play. Count remains for Dre Williams-Nelson.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch. That was that slider darting outside again. Dre kind of just threw his hands at it, see if he could do anything with it. Just keep it foul, live another day, and see what happens.
1-2. Well above the eyes, 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Dre Williams-Nelson, it's get on base any way possible. You want to get that 9-hitter on to turn the lineup over the top of the order. Maybe you can get Logan Lee a little uncomfortable again.
Count goes full, 3-2, and it does finally look like we have a little bit of movement in that Unicorn pen. I believe it's the lefty Dens getting ready, or at least the early stages of getting ready. He doesn't seem like he's in a hurry. 3-2, swing and a miss. Kreisen able to pick it out of the dirt, and Lee battles back to get his 6th strikeout of the night.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch. And kind of going back to that point, Danny Downs has been hurt for a little while. So if he is coming into the game, this is going to be his first game action in a while. But again, he's so talented that even if he does come in even off that little bit of just kind of stretch without pitching a whole lot, I feel decently confident that he can come back in and kind of go on a roll.
So Dens went on the IR prior to the June 20th game. So it's been over a month since we've seen Dens. And he is getting loose in that pen. He's not listed on the IR anymore. Jake Walker. Check swing on a pitch. Again, hey, it's maybe been away, but credit where credit's due. It has been a strike in inning number 1 and here in inning number 5 and everything in between.
Absolutely. It kind of feels like a welcome to the league moment right now for Jake Walker. He just kind of seems in between on some of these pitches. So, I mean, again, you're going to kind of get it with more reps, but at least right now you can kind of tell that he's definitely in between a little bit.
Logan Lee ready and waiting. Williams-Nelson taps home plate. into the motion. The 1-2 in the dirt. Curveball. Couldn't make it all the way to the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That pitch count quickly climbing. That was pitch number 85.
That was the other really nice thing about the Williams-Nelson at-bat. Even though it ended in a strikeout, it was a long at-bat that drove that pitch count for Lee. And kind of like I said earlier, maybe the best offense is just getting one of these starters out of the game.
2-2. 3-2. The Walker working a nice at-bat. But again, even with the pitch count nearing 90, Dens is, you see right there, not in a hurry to get moving. 3-2. Strike 3 called. Walker thought he had first base, but instead it's his second consecutive strikeout in the 7th of the day for Logan Lee.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like we were talking about earlier. That strike zone is a little bigger, especially on the outside. But as you said earlier, this umpire has been very consistent with that call, and it's been for both teams. So in reality, there's nothing really any of these hitters can do but just find a way to adjust. The umpire's going to call it. He's been calling it the same way this whole game. Got to give him credit. You got to adjust.
Brings up Nick Pastor, 0 for 2 on the day. Shows bunt, pulls back, pitch missed, 1-0.
I mean, I guess do whatever you can to try to get in Lee's head a little bit, right? Fake the bunt, pull it back, just try something, because right now Lee is cruising through these first few innings.
1-0, 2-0.
The one thing I would like to see Lee do is establish that fastball a little bit more in the strike zone on that lower part, because that can make the curveball just a lot easier to chase because you're kind of in between on those 2 pitches.
And Lee has struck out the first 2 batters he's faced, but it's been labor intensive.
Yes, no, I agree. I mean, obviously, it's hard to critique Lee. He's been really good in this game. But again, like, kind of as this game goes on, you kind of want to get the pitch count down a little bit so you can try to extend yourself into this outing. But again, that's also a lot of credit to the Woolly Mammoths hitters for just keeping good at bats going, even though they're not resulting in hits.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Missed low again. We'll have another full count.
It kind of just feels like Nick Pastor is due, right? I mean, he had a few ugly at-bats early on. He kind of just seems like he's ready to drill one here, so Lee's got to be careful.
Ball 4. 2-out walk, puts a runner on first for Anthony Sharkus. Talk about being careful. Here's a guy that can spin to win, find a gap, and add on to this lead.
I wonder if Sharkus is going to change his approach a little bit here. He's been sitting on those fastballs early and often, and he just hasn't been getting them. And if you're Logan Lee, you can't really blame him. You know what he's trying to look for. Will Sharkus change his approach to look for that slider or curveball early on, or is he going to continue his approach to just see if finally Lee will give him that fastball that he wants?
First pitch, catches a lot of the plate, strike 1.
And there it was the heat there. And Sharkus just took it, so maybe he was trying to change the approach, and Lee's like, all right, I'll change my approach too. Here's the fastball that you were looking for before.
It's the adjustment to the adjustment.
Yes, absolutely. It's a game of cat and mouse.
1 disengagement for Lee. Comes set, the 0-1. Cue-balled foul.
I mean, that's just such a good pitch. Absolutely painted on that bottom corner. Going with the off speed again. That's been Logan Lee's bread and butter this entire game, and it's been Zaborowski's bread and butter too this entire game. But it's just been an absolute pitching clinic. And if you love pitching like I do, it's just so cool to see.
0-2, way up high. Looks like he missed with the fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think if you want to critique Logan Lee just a little bit, I think he has thrown a few of those uncompetitive fastballs where they're just so far out that no hitter's going to chase those. That might be the only critique you can say on Logan Lee today, and maybe that's why that pitch count has hiked a little bit the last few innings.
Pitch misses, throw down to second, gets away from Baggett, and it's a stolen base for Nick Pastor. He's in scoring position. They try to add on to this 2-1 lead here in the 5th.
I mean, that's what you want now. Now, all Sharkus needs is a little single, and he'll probably score Pastor from second. So, again, really good decision. And, again, even if you were out, at least you start the inning with Sharkus, Liam, and Seltzer the next inning. So, good idea to risk it, in my opinion, and it's worked out. And hopefully, for the Mammoths, Sharkus can deliver here.
Foul ball deep down the right field line, out of play.
Yeah, the Mammoths have done a really good job extending some of these at-bats. He's been getting outs, Logan Lee has, but they have been very long, very labor-intensive. And I don't expect Logan Lee to come back for his next inning if he can get Sharkus here.
No, this next pitch, number 99. Very rarely do you see pitchers get into the triple digits here in the USPBL. And this next one will be pitch number 100.
Yeah, I also think with Fox Liam up next, who's a lefty, Danny Dunn's also a lefty. This is definitely the last at bat here, and we'll see who comes out on top. These are two really good players.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, runner on second, Nick Pastor. Big lead off the bag. The pitch, swing and a miss, got him with the fastball. He strands Pastor at second, and 100 pitches later, it's a 2-1 Mammoth lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th here in the USPBL network.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
On the USPBL network, 2-1 Westside Woolly Mammoths lead the Utica Unicorns here on a Thursday night on Irish American Heritage Night, as the Unicorns, they also send up 9-1-2. Ryan Enos, Cam Farrar, Andre Demetrol coming to the plate as Zach Zaborowski trying to hold on to the slim lead.
Make your move.
Yeah, Zaborowski's been really good so far. Obviously, we've been talking about that slider that's been really dancing all over the strike zone. Has made it a really tough at-bat for Unicorn hitters.
Enos hit it hard last time on the first pitch you saw, but it was right at the center fielder, Pastor.
Again, this is another really big at-bat for the Unicorns. You have the 9-hitter, but kind of like the Mammoths last inning where I was talking about with Dre Williams-Nelson, if you can get the first guy on and then turn the order to the top of the order, that puts yourself in a really good position to potentially score some runs here.
First pitch slider called, strike away.
Slider just continues to just keep going and going and going. That one definitely outside, definitely a tough pitch to take there if you're Enos.
Check swing, did he go around? No, he did not, says the first place umpire. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big difference, that was pitch number 60 for Zaborowski, where last half inning, granted, 3 more outs to get, but Lee finished at 100 pitches. Swing and a miss, nasty stuff.
I mean, that's just kind of what pounding the strike zone does for you, right? If you continue to stay in that strike zone, continue to get chased, continue to get quick outs, you're going to be able to stay in these ball games longer, and Zaborowski's done an excellent job of that so far.
Low and away again. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And here we go. This is kind of where now the Unicorns might be trying to extend some at-bats here. 2-2 count, already been a long at-bat by the 9-hitter too. I think this is a good at-bat, maybe even either way if you're the Unicorns.
Count runs full, sinker couldn't find the zone.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very important pitch for Zaborowski here. You got to throw a strike. You don't want to get a walk here and turn the order to the top.
Payoff pitch. Hit hard but foul.
And he did exactly that. That one a little bit more middle than maybe I would have liked. And Enos absolutely crushed it. But again, he was out in front of it. Just pull it there. And the bat kid out there for the Unicorns is able to run out there and grab it.
Weirdly enough, he was in front of the fastball. Strike 3 called. Enos doesn't like it. May not be a traditional strike, but it's been a strike all night tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, at some point, you just kind of have to adjust to it. Is that normally a strike according to our strike zone? No. However, the umpire has been very consistent. He's been calling that outside part of the plate. And at some point, the batters just have to adjust here, even though it may be difficult to tell yourself to do that.
Give credit to both catchers, Kreisen and Dodson, if they have been maybe assisting in trying to steal these strikes. Cam Farrar comes to the plate for the third time tonight. He's flied out to right. He's flied out to center. Does he have a fly out to left in his future? Nope, he'll go back to Drew Fleming. Hops a couple of steps back. Shy of the track, brings it in for out number 2.
That sun looks like it's gone out there in right field, too. It looked like Fleming tracked that ball a lot better that time, and it makes sense if you look at the field. You don't really see the pounding light from the sun anymore, so I'm sure that's going to make it easier to field in right field throughout the rest of this game.
Andre Dimitrol, strikeout victim twice over, comes back to the plate.
And again, if you can kind of get Dimitrol on here and see what you can do with Baggett and Weber, that'd be huge for this Unicorns offense.
0-1. Zaborowski looks in. Comes set the pitch. Ground ball foul.
The Unicorns really like that third base line. They've been pulling a few. Obviously, the 2 doubles are right down that line, and they just missed a few there. That was another one, really sharp swing. Just pulled it a little too much there, and it makes it 0-2.
0-2 to Dimitrol, trying to avoid the hat trick. Swing and a miss. 3 up, 3 down for the Unicorns in the 5th. We head to the 6th. The Mammoths holding on to their 1-run lead, 2-1. Westside on top here in the USPBL network.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Everyone has something that
sun just barely hanging on over the horizon here at Jimmy John's Field. It's been a pitcher's duel at sundown as we have a new arm coming out for the Utica Unicorns. It's the lefty, Danny Denz, coming in to replace Logan Lee, who goes 5 strong innings, strikes out 8, walks 3, hits 1, gives up no earned runs, but is in line for the loss.
Yeah, he was absolutely fabulous, and it comes back that it really was an error that kind of hurt him. But again, he really only has himself to blame because that was his error. But again, at the end of the day, if you can get past that point, the pitching itself was really good. Obviously, he's probably going to kick himself a little bit because of that error, because he could have gotten out here with no runs allowed. But at the end of the day, he just needs his team to kind of rally. got a really good reliever coming in, and Danny Den's here to try to help him out.
Den's the 5'10", 205-pound Carpentersville, Illinois native. Spent his time at the University of Memphis. Had 12 innings of work before our ERA in the mid-ones, almost 2 strikeouts an inning. Yeah, that's not a bad guy to hand the torch to.
No, this is a really good pitcher here. Also was in a Major League Baseball organization, was with the Padres for a few years before ending up coming here due to some injuries that happened when he was in the Padres organization. So obviously he's a really established guy that can do a lot of damage really quickly against even really good hitters.
Denz, he'll come at you with a mix. Oh, excuse me. He's not on the updated list. It's been a while with Denz. It's a slider, a cutter, a four-seamer, a changeup, and a sinker. And Liam will come back at you with a 96-mile-per-hour bullet back up the middle for a leadoff single.
Yeah, I mean, he was sitting on that pitch and absolutely crushed up the middle. If you want to talk about how good Danny Denz has been, I do a statistic where I run every month to see who has the best pitch. And Danny Denz's slider, though he calls it a sweeper, was the best pitch in the entire league in the first month of the year. That's just how good Danny Denz can be when he's locating those pitches and complementing them with his other pitches in his arsenal.
Now, it may just be my ignorance, but it feels like the difference between a slider, a sweeper, and sometimes a cutter is really just what the pitcher wants to call it.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. We've been tagging it as a slider. The only reason I found that out that he calls it a sweeper is because I asked him about it. That's the only reason I know. We've been tagging it as a slider pretty much all year. But again, it's been working for him, and he really likes that cutter to complement it too.
And the cutter's the weird one. For some people, it's closer to a slider than anything else. For others, it's more akin to a fastball, like a two-seamer that has a little bit of ride. Again, I know grips can be a little different, things like that, but those all seem to be just kind of mismatched with what's one person's sweeper isn't another's, what's one person's cutters is way different than someone else's. It's, again, a lot of personal preference, and then the slurve is somewhere in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, that cutter is kind of that in between. It really just depends on how much break you get, whether you want to make it closer to a slider or closer to a fastball. But Danny says he really likes it because he says it's a really good mix, and he thinks it's just moves just enough to get it off the fastball, but not quite enough where it makes it look like the sweeper.
That was a 94-mile-per-hour fastball, by the way, thigh high. All Seltzer could do is foul it away. Froze Seltzer solid. That was down the middle, and the sweeper, slider, cutter, slur, whatever you want to call it, gets a punch out for out number one.
I was kind of looking at that pitch. I was almost holding my breath a little bit because I thought that was the fastball and it was going to go way past the catcher, and it moved so much that it went almost outside the left-handed batter's box, right down the middle. That was unbelievable pitch movement there on that sweeper by Denz.
Up comes Jose Cedeno for the lefty-lefty matchup. Cedeno yet to put a ball in play. Worked a walk his first time, would later score. Struck out swinging in his latest at-bat. Off to second, Liam, and he is in without a throw. Big jump on the lefty for Fox Liam. That is just his second stolen base of the year. Only the second time he's tried.
Yeah, I mean, stealing bases is an art. Like, obviously, like, you can have a lot of speed and make it a lot easier, but if you can get a good read on a pitcher and get a good jump, you can steal a base if you have pretty much any speed at all.
And 3 pitches is all Denz needs of to dispatch of Cedeno. So after the leadoff single, back-to-back backwards Ks as Drew Fleming comes to the plate.
Yeah, it almost looked like maybe he was trying to find his footing a little bit earlier. Obviously, Fox Liam ambushed him on that fastball and crushed up the middle. And he was missing a little bit earlier in the at-bat to Seltzer. But again, really good bounce back by Denz so far. And now he's got the biggest test of them all, facing Drew Fleming.
That pitch just dove below the bat of Fleming. Looked like a sinker. 0-1. Misses just a hair high to the towering righty.
Yeah, that's a really good pitch there. Maybe was just a little bit high. It looks like on our strike zone it was right on that corner. But again, pitches that close can normally go either way. And this one went in the way of Drew Fleming.
1-1. 1-2. That one lowered just a bit. Den's made the requisite adjustment, and he's ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So, Brady, what would you do here? You have the 1-2 count. Pretty much everything's been working.
Maybe something in the dirt to see if I can get him to chase.
Honestly, I like that idea a lot. The only thing I think I wouldn't throw the fastball. Anything else?
And there you go. Pitch below the knees that Fleming swings through. After the leadoff single, it's strikeout, strikeout, strikeout to retire the Mammoths here in the 6th. We head to the bottom of inning number 6. Still 2-1 Mammoths. No one scored since inning number 2 here in the USPBL network.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
Bottom of the 6th. Mammoth still holding on to a 2-1 lead. Zach Zeborowski coming out for a 6th inning of work, and why not? He'll get the opportunity to face 3, 4, 5, Patrick Baggett, Jared Weber, and Austin Ochoa in the Unicorn lineup. He's held them at bay, hasn't given up a hit since the RBI double to Kyle Schmack back in inning number 2.
If I were to take a guess, this may be Zeborowski's last time facing this Unicorns heart of the order with Baggett, Weber, and Ochoa. So again, this is a really important inning. You're only up 1. Just try to get through this inning and see what you can do the rest of the game.
Baggett has one of the 4 hits surrendered, or I guess tallied by the Unicorns.
Yeah, Baggett had that leadoff single earlier, and then they gave Weber the hit on the one after that immediately, too. So, I mean, these are the 2 guys that really have been able to get to Zeborowski in this game, even if it was just a little bit.
Starts off with a sinker, low and away for strike 1.
And again, getting Baggett on base is so important because he can do a lot on the base pass, but again, just getting that guy on for power hitters like Weber and Ochoa would be huge for this Unicorns offense.
1 ball, 1 strike. Zeborowski settles in the 1-1. Oh, that caught Baggett. Looked like in the front calf. Ouch.
It was the fastball that he lost a little bit of command there. Normally you'd think it would be the slider, especially because it's running in on Baggett, but no, that was the fastball that just hit him right in the leg. And it definitely stings for Baggett, but it's going to help the Unicorns getting that leadoff guy on because you have really good hitters like Weber and Ochoa up right now. So this is a really important time for Zeborowski to bear down and see if he can get it out here. A double play would be absolutely massive for him here if he can get it.
Here in the 6th, that's the first free pass he surrendered. Baggett off to second, the throw down, not in time. Baggett, big jump, and just like that, a blink of an eye, and he's in scoring position.
Really good read there by Baggett to get that stolen base. And also a really good idea to get over there because even though Weber has reached on an error and got that infield single, those are both ground balls that could be turned into double plays on each of those first 2 at bats. So a good idea to see or get yourself out of that potential double play opportunity.
Ball squirts away from Dotson, and another 90 feet forward goes Patrick Baggett.
And now you're really in trouble here if you're Zeborowski. You still have that lead, so even if that run scores, at worst it's tied. But now you have a lot of pressure on you for the heart of this Unicorns order. But if anyone can get out of this, it feels like it's Zach Zaborowski with how well he's been pitching. So we'll see what he can do here. But he is down 2-0, which you definitely don't want to be to a guy of Weber's caliber.
Infield comes in. Pitch finds the plate. 2-1.
Kind of feels like if you're looking to get right, the slider's the way to do it. And that one painted very well there by Zaborowski yet again.
Still don't see anyone warming up in that Mammoth bullpen. 2-1. Check swing, little dribbler. Zaborowski fields it, checks third, throw to first, and it goes wide. Out of play, and the game's tied. So a pitcher error gave the Mammoths the lead, and a pitcher error will tie it up for the Unicorns.
I mean, now it's really kind of been an even game. It kind of felt like the only difference was that pitcher error that gave 2 runs. And now here we are. Now it's Zaborowski's turn to make the error. Again, coaches are now just pounding their fists on the table saying PFP, PFP, PFP in this one because these guys have pitched so well, but it's been their own fielding mistakes that have been the main reason they've been giving up runs. And now you got to face Ochoa, who has been very good and had your number in the last game you played against him.
Well, he gets a high pop-up. Kisses the heavens as it's coming down. Dre Williams. Nelson brings it in the glove. He dropped it on the transition. So that is out number 1. And that's a nice bounce back to get a quick pop out from Ochoa.
You couldn't ask for anything better there if you're Zaborowski. Even if you had the strikeout, that just hikes the pitch count up a little bit. That one, you got one pitch, got that jam job, kind of popped it out to second base. That's absolutely beautiful if you're Zaborowski. And now you have a little bit of wiggle room. But again, you're facing Jose Aquino, who hit that double off of you earlier in the game. So definitely a guy you got to be careful of here.
First pitch, low and away. Very quickly you went from, all right, let's just hold the lead to now we have to worry about not giving up and find ourselves trailing as we enter the late innings.
No, absolutely. I mean, if you are Zaborowski, I don't think you have to give in to Aquino here with the base open. You've had a lot of success against some of the guys lower in the lineup. You kind of had Kreisen kind of in between all game. So maybe if you don't have to attack Aquino here. You definitely obviously don't want to walk him if you don't have to. But again, I definitely wouldn't throw a pitch down the middle here by any means.
Weber on second. He reached on an error. Pitch low and in. 2-1.
And again, if you are Aquino, if you get yourself into a pitcher or a hitter's count here, see if you can get that pitch in the middle and drive it like you did last time and see if you can get your team your lead.
3-1. Now there is a base open, so you can dance around Aquino a bit as the bottom third follows.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to walk him, but I'm okay with it if it means him not driving a ball in the gap as he's done already. Well, he hasn't done it in this game, but he hit the double earlier.
Couple hopper to Seltzer across the diamond, and Liam will bring it in above the eyes for out number 2. So after the hit by pitch and an error, it's been pop out and ground out for the Unicorns.
Yeah, it's been huge. Weber started, I guess, he hasn't started the inning because Baggett got on base first, but he was on second base with nobody out, and now there's 2 outs, and he's still there. So that's really good if you're Zaborowski. But again, you got to finish, and you got to get Kreisen here if you are the Mammoths and you are Zaborowski.
First pitch, breaking ball, middle for strike 1.
He's loved that breaking ball today, and that was middle. That was maybe Kreisen's opportunity, but even then, like, it's been moving so much. Even if it is right down the middle, I'm still not sure how you square that ball up.
Well, out in front of that one, quickly 0-2 is Zaborowski looking for strikeout number 9 and to keep this game tied going into the 7th.
It does look like he's making that adjustment a little bit. That one did come in a little quicker there, and Kreisen did hit it pretty hard, but again, he was just way out in front of it. So 0-2, you're kind of at Zaborowski's mercy here, so let's see what happens.
The 0-2. Too low. Count goes to 1-2.
That's a good take. I feel like that's been a pitch that Kreisen's been chasing in this game. That's a really good job making the adjustment to make sure that you take that one and not strike yourself out here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on second, Jared Weber. He represents the go-ahead run. Count evens at 2 aside. Zaborowski trying to get out of a 6th inning. Game still tied. The tying run scored on the Weber error. Excuse me, on the Weber hit the ball. It was the error by Zaborowski. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Half-hearted hack, and Ethan Kreisen goes down on strikes for the third time tonight. 9 punch-outs for Zaborowski, but the damage is done. Unicorns tie it up after 6. We go to the 7th, all knotted up at 2 here on the USPBL Network. Ball game here in the top of the 7th, and a new arm comes on for the Utica Unicorns. Andrew Severini has taken the bump for the Unicorns after 1 inning of Danny Den. Severini, you'll be tasked with keeping this game tied as we enter the late innings.
I would say this is definitely also a semi-advantage for the Unicorns because they use so many pitchers. They're kind of used to kind of getting in this situation, even though Logan Lee went probably more than I think many expected him to go to start this game. You're kind of used to this kind of bullpen moving game from here on out. You can continue to get fresh arm in and fresh arm in after that, and Severini's the next one in line for the Unicorns.
Hank Dotson, Dre Williams, Nelson, and Jacob Walker will greet Severini. Severini, he comes at you with just a 3-pitch mix, a little bit of a departure from some of our other arms. A fastball, a changeup, and a curveball. Keeps it pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, that's been kind of a pitch repertoire that's been working a little bit in today's game. It's just as long as you have that fastball and that really good breaking ball to complement it, you can do really well in this game and in this league.
Hank Dotson 0 for 1 tonight. He was plunked in his first at-bat, popped out in foul ground last time.
Yeah, it feels like the Unicorns have a lot of momentum right now. This is a really big inning here for the Mammoths to see if they can kind of steal some of that momentum back.
1-0.
And generating some of that offense from your 8-9-1 hitters would be absolutely huge in turning that momentum like I talked about earlier.
Jam shot foul. Already someone in the bullpen for the Corn, so it might be an inning at a time until we get through 9. Nice play by Taylor Jelenkowski, by the way.
A little bit of a juggle, but still overall a pretty field clean. Probably if that ball would have been played, probably still would have thrown him out.
1-1. Rolled over and just pushed foul.
Good range by Ochoa to get over there. Justice Hall just slightly foul there down that third base line. And all of a sudden, it's 1-2 to Dodson, and he's going to have to try to battle back here.
Then out in front of the slow stuff, if you're Severini, do you try to speed it up, or do you go another off speed, try to keep him out in front?
Oh, it's tough. I still think I would try to throw a breaking ball, especially because you're up 1-2. If it was 2-2, I might throw the fastball, but I think I would still throw a breaker here if I were Severini.
Comes with the fastball, misses well outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And look, if you are going to throw the fastball, you definitely don't want to throw it in the strike zone. I'm sure he probably would have rather missed up or low with that pitch rather than that far outside, but it's all right.
That's where he was looking for, that low outside corner that has rang up numerous batters tonight. 4th straight Mammoth to go down on strikes. Brings up Dre Williams Nelson.
And again, it's a great job by these catchers and pitchers. They know the strike zone's a little bigger, so they're going to set up out there, and they're going to continue to work there. It's been called consistently over and over again, and it's just a great job adjusting by the pitchers. Just it feels like the hitters are still a little behind on their adjustments on some of those outside pitches.
That's a dozen strikeouts recorded by Unicorn pitching, and that was the 7th consecutive out that was a strikeout for Unicorn pitching. So there was a walk and a single mixed in, but anytime they've recorded it out, the last 7 have all been strikeouts. Quickly 0-2 to Dre Williams-Nelson.
That was a big swing there. I think you could definitely tell what he was trying to do with that pitch. But, I mean, yeah, if you're Williams-Nelson, you kind of have to stay a little bit within yourself here. You just need to get on base and try to get on for some of these other guys in the rest of your lineup. So I don't love that idea of just swinging for the fences there, though. It would have, if it would have connected, you probably would have gotten the lead back.
0-2. Dre into the box. Severini comes set the pitch. Not very close with the fastball, 1-2.
No, definitely trying to hit that outside part of the plate that's been open, but that one was just way too far outside. So it's just kind of a whole lot of nothing there on that one. Makes it 1-2.
Flair, and that one drops in. Just stuck the barrel out, got enough of it. And there's the adjustment. That pitch, probably traditionally a ball. That one in the danger zone of being strike 3. And Williams-Nelson extends the arms and gets a bloop single, his first of the night.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great at-bat there. Great swing. You go down 0-2, get it back to 1-2, and then you get that outside pitch on that breaking ball. It was very close with whether it would have been called a strike. But again, good job making the adjustment. Just loop it over the second baseman's head. And now you're on for the top of the order.
The rookie to the plate, Jake Walker. He takes strike 1.
Wouldn't this be kind of a storybook thing here to have the rookie in his first game be the hero for the Woolly Mammoths in this game if he can come through? He's been a little bit in between in some of the other at-bats, but again, just another huge opportunity for the kid here.
Misses away, 1-1. 0 for 3 tonight. Rolled over one the first time up. Strikeout victim twice over, once looking, once swinging. Nelson, aggressive lead off of first, half-hearted throw over. That's the first disengagement.
Yeah, if you're Severini, you definitely don't want to let Williams-Nelson get to second if you can prevent it. Definitely want to try to hold him here for these other at-bats coming up for the Mammoths.
1-1. Fouled away, 1-2.
That looked like a better swing, though. Obviously, he was a little late on that fastball as he drove it foul to the right side. But again, I feel like that was a better swing and a better approach than what I've been seeing earlier from Walker in this game. Feels like he's getting closer to catching that pitch.
Throw to first and a head-first slide puts Dre back in. So now that's the second disengagement. If he throws over a third time, he must record an out. Otherwise, it constitutes a balk.
He might go now, too, because of that risk that they know the Unicorns run. Now, still, we've seen that where they disengage again.
There goes Williams-Nelson, swing and a miss. The throw down to second, not in time. So it's a strike him out, can't get the throw him out. And there's a runner in scoring position with 2 away for Westside as Nick Pastor comes to the plate.
That's kind of exactly what I was mentioning. Williams-Nelson might get a bigger boost here, knowing that there were the 2 disengagements by Severini. He did get the out, which is huge, but now he's on second for a very dangerous hitter in Nick Pastor here. So if you're the Woolly Mammoths, this is your best chance of getting a run in a while than you've had in this game.
Pastor 0 for 2 tonight. Last time up, worked the walk. Strikeout and a ground out before then.
And again, you could pitch around Pastor here if you want to, but now you get yourself in the situation where Sharkus and Liam are looming. So again, it's pick your poison. You probably have to attack Pastor.
1-0. Swing and a miss. Got the fastball by him. That's a challenge pitch that Severini overpowered him with.
Yeah, a lot of big swings from the Mammoths. Huge swing there by Pastor, too, and just couldn't quite connect with that one.
1-1 goes to 2-1.
And look, you don't have to absolutely crush a ball here. All you need is a base hit. Williams Nelson is very quick at second base. If you get that base hit into the outfield, you're probably scoring this run.
Two, 1, 3 and 1. So you can walk him. The base is open. But again, I know Anthony Sharkus is 0 for 3. That is not a proposition I would often take.
No, he's much better than the stat line today. So I feel like you got to at least attack Pastor here, maybe try to hit a corner.
Not even close. 5-pitch walk. Pastor reaches, and it brings up Anthony Sharkus.
Yeah, this is a huge at-bat here. If I were the Unicorns, I would maybe see if I can send the assistant coach out there to talk to Severini. It seems like that's not what they're going to do here, but I mean, this is such a big at-bat and a turning point in this game. We talked about how the Unicorns play late in the games while trailing. This is a very good chance for the Mammoths here to take that lead back, and if those trends continue for the Unicorns, you could be in a lot of trouble.
As the sun just hid behind the horizon to our left, a cool has fallen over Jimmy John's Field. You can feel it coming into the booth. It has dropped probably 5 degrees in the last couple minutes.
Absolutely, yeah, you can definitely kind of feel the temperatures cooling off a little bit, but who knows, maybe that'll heat up the bat since the pitching's been so good in this game.
1-0 to Sharkus. 2-0 to Sharkus. Kreisen tried to sell it, tried to steal that low outside corner to no avail.
I mean, that was still a really good pitch. It was just off the plate there, using that breaking ball. I like that pitch a lot. Just a really good take there by Sharkus.
2-0. 3-0, and if you walk Sharkus, the man with 2 of the 3 Mammoth hits is waiting on deck in Fox Liam.
And that's also not a guy that's anywhere near afraid to take a walk, too, withdrawing all these very long counts, too. So, I don't know, if you're Severini, you could be in a lot of trouble here if you do walk Sharkus.
Oh, delayed strike call. Sharkus had spun the bat 1 full rotation as he was getting ready to toss it over to the dugout. Instead, he'll get a 3-1 pitch. 2 away, the offering. And another one. That one more borderline than the last.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, given how this strike zone's been, there's no doubt in my mind that that last pitch was certainly a strike. The one before that, I don't know. But now here's the other part of it. You have Sharkus here, who's a really good fastball hitter in a 3-2 count where you need to throw a fastball, and both runners are going to be taking off on the pitch.
Swing and a miss. Severini works back and gets the punch out. And this game stays tied as it's stretch time here at Jimmy John's Field. Let's send it over to the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Genesis Credit Union.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Back here on the USPBL network, we are tied at 2 as we are getting our first pitching change of the day from the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It's Jacob Meyer coming into the game for Westside as a terrific day for Zaborowski comes to a close. He goes 6 innings, allows 2 runs, only 1 earned, surrenders 4 hits, did not give up a hit after the 8th 8th batter of the game, strikes out 9, walks none, hit a single guy. A pretty elite outing from Zaborowski.
No, he was absolutely electric. He was pretty much putting any pitch anywhere he wanted. He had unicorn batters off balance all game. And again, just like what happened to Logan Lee, where he was doing the same thing, it's his own error that kind of comes back to bite him in this game. So he now turns it over to the bullpen for Jacob Meyer, who interestingly enough was the same reliever that came in for Zaborowski last time the Mammoths played the Unicorns last week.
Meyer, the lone lefty in the pen. Fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. In theory, a curveball, but mainly a 3-pitch mix for Meyer, as it's Schmack, Enos, and Farrar due up here in the bottom of inning number 7. First pitch, check swing, went around. Schmack doubled his first time up. That was the last hit for the Unicorns back in inning number 2.
Yeah, it's been a really good pitching performance by the Mammoths, and it looks like Meyer could be continuing that trend if he can continue to keep locating the fastball like he did in that last pitch.
92 just missed high and away. Ball and a strike to Schmack.
I was going to say, normally you would put a lefty in when you're facing a lot of other lefties, and maybe you feel comfortable putting Baggett on the other side, switching him to a right-hander there, but I don't know. I still like the idea. You have the bottom of the order, just kind of got to pound strikes and see if you can get these Unicorn batters out, or maybe the Unicorns can rally it back. We'll see.
Might be an inning at a time for the Mammoths, as they already have someone warming up in the right field bullpen. 1-2. Swinging a ball lifted fairly deep to center field. Pastor misjudged it, had to range back, but eventually camps underneath of it for out number 1.
Yeah, I look like he definitely misread that ball at first. Took maybe a step or two in, realized it was going over his head, but he still got there in plenty of time to camp under that ball and make the catch.
Ryan Enos to the plate, 0 for 2, a line out and a strikeout looking.
And again, if you're Meyer and the Mammoths, just kind of keep pounding the strike zone if you can.
1-0. The pitch, swing and a miss. Healthy hack at a fastball up near the letters.
Yeah, mixing the fastball a little bit. Made it a little lower the first at bat, then threw it high that time. See if maybe you can kind of get underneath it, maybe pop it out, but definitely mixing to the fastball location here.
Jam shot back to the screen, foul. 1-2.
And there was the off-speed pitch that Meyer throws. Definitely don't want to keep it in the middle like it was last pitch, but didn't come back to haunt you this time. Just try to get that on a corner or outside or somewhere else if you're going to throw it again here.
1-2. Strike 3 called, no doubt about it. Was looking for the off-speed, came with the heater, and it's strikeout number 1 for Meyer out of the pen. Out number 2 as the lineup turns over and Cam Farrar comes to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like the pitching clinic. It just kind of continues on, doesn't it? I mean, no matter who it is, they're coming in, they're throwing darts, throwing strikes, painting everywhere. It's really just been a beautiful game, pitching-wise, in this ball game.
Farrar 0 for 3, 3 flyouts. Watches ball 1 miss upstairs, 1-0.
It's kind of crazy looking back at some of these hitter stat lines. Like, these are all like really high 300 hitters like Sharkus and Farrar, and you're seeing 0 for 3, 0 for 2, 0 for 4, whatever it is, because these pitchers just continue to do well in this game.
Second fastball in a row misses for Meyer. So falls behind Farrar.
And again, I mean, it's a tie game. You're still in a very dangerous spot for both sides right now. You really can't afford to fall behind any of these really good hitters, especially a guy like Farrar.
Lifted but well foul out of play down the right field line.
And again, it's kind of been an interesting game. You kind of feel like most of the runs would come from that middle of the order, and they did get one with Baggett getting on and then ending up scoring after some stolen bases and wild pitches, but it was the bottom of the order that got their first one that was so needed.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Meyer looking for a clean 7th frame.
Very good fastball, but again, a lot of middle there. You kind of get yourself into a really dicey position there, especially in a tie game like this. You continue to locate in that area.
Count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 away in a 2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. Unicorns tied it up last inning without getting a hit. It was a hit, batter, a stolen base, a wild pitch, and an error that scored Patrick Baggett.
And sometimes that's really all you need. And it would be huge for Farrar to get on base here to try to extend that inning for guys like Demetral, Baggett, and Weber, who can obviously do a lot of damage.
Swing and a miss. Fastball blew it by him at the letters. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the 7th. We head to the 8th. Nothing's been decided. 2-2 ball game here on the USPBL Network.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At FSBCares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBCares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Top of the 8th, 2-2 game between the Westside Woolly Mammoths and the Utica Unicorns, and it's Jace Bauman out of the pen for the Unicorns. Bauman, the 5'9", 180-pound Wisconsin native, coming into the game, trying to keep this game tied at 2.
I think one of the interesting things when you look at Bauman, you see pitches like the 4-seam fastball, the slider, the changeup, and the 2-seam fastball that we've all been tagging as pitches that he throws, but he throws them all at a pretty consistent clip. The pitch that he throws the least is the changeup, and he still throws it 11% of the time. So this is a guy that really could throw anything at any time and can keep hitters really off balance.
He will be greeted by Fox Liam, Colby Seltzer, and Jose Cedeno. As now we're wondering if there will be another run scored. Should we get to the point we have the sudden death half inning and the way the pitching's going, hey, you get a runner to second or heck at this point a runner on first, you feel like, all right, we have a shot.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that could definitely be the case. It almost feels like they want to get to that extra inning, and then just whoever wants the pitch, they're going to be hands on their knees kind of praying to be able to get that pitching opportunity because that's just been working all game.
Liam does have 2 base hits today, a single and a double. Takes ball 1 low and away.
And again, as we've talked about, Fox Liam, very patient hitter, will not get overly aggressive, will kind of just take what he gets and does a really good job normally hitting that when he does.
The 1-0. This is low, 2-0 to Fox.
And again, like, you don't have to throw an absolute strike here to Fox Liam because he can do a lot of damage. But again, where do you expect to get your outs? Colby Seltzer, Jose Cedeno, and Drew Fleming are awaiting, and you really don't want to see those guys with the guy on.
Healthy hack from Fox, and it was a wave and a miss, 2-1.
And it kind of just feels like a game where you just kind of need to string together hits. Obviously, you want to have that one big swing that can get you that home run. It just doesn't really feel like you're going to get that in this game. It feels like the way to do it is through walks and hits and stringing them together.
There was no pitch.
Pitch clock violation.
Yeah.
Like.
So pitch was outside anyway, so kind of a moot point.
Yeah.
Count goes to 3-1.
And who knows, maybe now this kind of gets a little bit in the head of a guy like Bauman here, who now is down 3-1 to a really good hitter in Fox Liam, and you really don't want to throw a cookie here because Liam will make you pay if you do that.
3-1. Ball 4, and Liam reaches for the third time tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely not ideal. You definitely do not want to get the leadoff guy on with nobody out and these next hitters coming up because, man, they can be lethal. And it kind of just feels like they're just waiting to pounce because they haven't had that opportunity to do that all game so far.
Colby Seltzer to the plate. Ballman would love a ground ball here.
Oh, absolutely he would.
First pitch missed, low and away. Liam did swipe a bag, but that was a couple innings ago when Denz was on the mound. I think here in the 8th, you're going to have to be a little more conservative.
Probably. It still doesn't feel like the Unicorns are too worried about it. Both the second baseman Demetral and shortstop Patrick Baggett are well away from second base. Now, I think they can still get over there pretty quickly if they need to, but I don't think they're too worried about Liam taking another base here.
High and in. Count goes to 3-0, and you're in danger of walking the first two batters.
Yeah, looks like Bauman is just not getting a really good grip of that ball right now, missing really a lot. He had the one strike that he got Fox Liam to swing and miss that, but other than that, he's just been kind of all over the place so far, and you're going to really need to settle in if you want to get out of this inning unscathed.
Three 3-0 to Colby. The pitch. High and in, 4-pitch walk. 2 on, nobody out. Chance for the Mammoths to strike and take the lead here in the top of the 8th.
Now, it kind of comes back to that situation question. A lot of people would see the score 2-2 in the 8th and think, okay, this is the opportunity to bunt. You want to get the runners over to second and third. But do you want to do that and take the bat out of a guy like Jose Cedeno's hand, who's been really good this season, has struggled a little bit today, still got on base with 1 walk in one of his earlier at-bats, but I'm not sure you really want to take the bat out of this guy's hand.
Shows bunt, pulled back at the last possible moment, 1-0.
They did check that, and I thought it was really, really close, but the field umpire did say that he did pull it back in time, and it didn't sound like there were many happy fans wearing purple that thought about that call.
Shows bunt again, pushes it perfectly down the third baseline. Oh, it took a horrible hop. That was going to be a bunt for a hit. It hits the lip of the grass and bounces foul, and it's just strike 1.
Yeah, that was really close to being the best case scenario for Cedeno and the Mammoths there, but just couldn't quite keep it fair as it rolled foul. And it gives Cedeno another opportunity here, and it looks like he's going to be committed to this bunt. I would assume he's going to continue to do it until he gets to 2 strikes, if it comes to that.
One ball, 1 strike. Ballman looks in, comes set. The pitch shows bunt, pulled back. 2-1.
I also don't know what it is, but I feel like when pitchers see you square around, I think that also makes them more prone to missing on some of these pitches too. And again, it makes sense with a guy like Bauman who's walked the last 2 batters in a row. Maybe when you put your bat out there to bunt, maybe it kind of unsettles him a little bit to throw more balls.
3-1. Ballman in danger of coming out of the pen and walking the bases loaded.
Yeah, that would be a really tough spot for the Unicorns here. That one just missed too. It was a really good pitch, just slightly below that strike zone. And good read by Cedeno to pull the bat back.
Ground ball is short. Baggett to third to get the lead runner. Interesting decision to ensure getting the lead runner, so no sac fly. However, could have tried to turn 2 and would have in theory had the same result.
You could have, though here's why I kind of like that decision. Cedeno gets down the line really fast at first base, and he comes from that left-handed side. That makes it even harder to turn that double play. I think if you're Baggett, it's smart just to get the lead runner and make the Mammoths really earn this run here.
Ooh, that nearly clipped Drew Fleming. Almost got his big beard.
Yeah, Drew Fleming's a big guy out there. I don't know how that missed him, to be honest, but just a little slight move to get out of the way, and yeah, it almost did clip that big beard that Fleming has in the batter's box.
1-0. 2-0.
That's that same outside pitch that's been called a strike a lot today. This one not called a strike for Baumann here. So.
There's that first pitch that nearly got Fleming in the front of the helmet.
Yeah, that's close to dental work there. You do not want to pitch there at all.
Pitch inside out at foul. 2-1.
Yeah, it's a big strike there for Baumann. You just got to find a way to see if you can maybe get Fleming to roll the ball over here or just continue to pound the strike zone, because you cannot continue to walk people like you did the first two batters of this inning.
If you can find another ground ball, could come out of this inning unscathed. 2-1. Missed low, 3-1, and now Drew Fleming, he can sit dead red and try to blow this game open.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he's looking for that fastball and he gets it in the middle, look out Chevy Pavilion, that ball is coming your way. So Baumann's got to be really smart about what his pitch is here.
Oh, he wanted it a little too much. The check swing, saying he didn't go around, and Fleming catches a break, and the bases are loaded.
That was really close. I thought he did go on that check swing, but Mammoths catch a massive break here. You have the bases loaded, and we'll see what Hank Dodson can do here to see if he can be a potential hero in this ball game.
Dodson has reached base once when he was hit by a pitch. So that is the one decent silver lining for the Unicorns, is this is a bat that has not produced a lot of contact. The one time he did was a pop-up in foul ground.
Yeah, and again, this is a guy you can turn two on because Dodson doesn't run all that well out of the batter's box. But again, you put yourself in such a dangerous situation here with the bases loaded.
First pitch, that's what he needed, a strike at the knees to get it started.
And that's a perfect pitch there. Yeah, maybe it's a little more in the middle, but that paints the bottom part of the strike zone. That's the exact ground ball pitch that you want if you're Baumann to get a potential double play on a guy like Dodson.
0-1. Lined into center field. The Mammoths take the lead here in the 8th. Seltzer in to score. Cedeno behind him. It's a 2 RBI base knock for Dodson, and it's 4-2 Westside.
I mean, that's the exact perfect situation you want if you're the Mammoths. And again, that's why walks can come back to kill. You don't want to walk these guys on. You walked all three guys on base, and all it takes is one good swing by Dodson to get that 2-run advantage, and it looks like the Mammoths are in a very good position. Obviously, the game's not over. Still plenty of time in this ball game, but a huge swing for Dodson and a huge moment for this Mammoths offense.
First hit since Dre William Nelson's bloop single. First hard hit ball probably since Fox Liam's hit a few innings ago. And it's 4-2 Westside.
And now if you're the Mammoths, you just have to try to find a way to extend it. You have Dre Williams Nelson, your 9-hitter here, and then you get the top of the order back up to see if you can do more.
The 0-1. Not a bad pitch, maybe a little low on the ladder. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, just a little bit low, but a very, very good pitch there. Just great take there by Dre.
Baumann comes set, the 1-1. Check swing, appeal, no swing. 2-1 to Dre Williams Nelson. And a ball in the gap, and this game can quickly spiral out of control for the Unicorns.
Yeah, Baumann's got to find a way to stop getting behind in these counts. He's done it to pretty much every batter and just puts you in such a bad position going forward.
Swing and a miss. Dre very tardy on the 87-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yeah, that one caught a lot of middle. Williams Nelson looked like his eyes kind of lit up there, took a big swing, just couldn't quite connect, and now it's back to even. Good job by Baumann to get that count evened up, but again, you still got a lot of work to do to get out of this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 away, 2 runs home in the inning, thanks to the RBI single from Hank Dodson. Swing and a miss. Went back to the fastball. Gets his first strikeout in relief. And the lineup turns over for Jake Walker.
That was 2 back-to-back, really middle fastballs, and Dre just could not find the handle on either of those pitches. So you can kind of tell that he's scuffling a little bit. You can definitely tell that he kind of has the confidence to keep swinging those really big swings there. But again, I mean, those are pitches that you kind of just have to connect on. Those middle fastballs are the ones you have to find a way to drive and continue to add on these runs. And again, brings up a massive spot once again for Jake Walker.
First pitch lifted, and Walker has his first hit. Coming around third, heading into score, Drew Fleming. First base hit here in the USPBL for Jake Walker. They'll get him that baseball for the nightstand. Drives in the run to make it 5-2 as well.
I've said it before, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And how about that for your little welcome to the USPBL moment for your own sake? You know, you hit that ball definitely off the end of the barrel a little bit, but just hit it just enough to loop it over the head of Jared Weber. And look, that's a huge insurance run in this ball game. That's a really big swing for Jake Walker for his first hit, and a very big moment for his team.
And that'll do it for Jace Ballman. A new arm coming out for the Unicorns, trying to keep this game on the rails. 5-2, Mammoths on top here on the USPBL network.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood.
And reset our life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
Hello and welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. There's a pitching change here for the Utica Unicorns. It is Connor Tomasic who will come up now for the Unicorns in a very big spot here, trying to limit more runs from coming home here for this Woolly Mammoths offense. If you want to look at Connor Tomasic, he mainly has a 3-pitch mix. He normally starts with the 4-seam fastball that he uses plenty, occasionally sprinkles in the slider and changeup to try to complement it. But again, very big spot for a very big pitcher that needs to come through here for his team to see if he can do pretty much anything to try to limit this dynamic Woolly Mammoths offense that has really come to life here in this past inning in a very big spot.
5-2, Westside on top, and Connor Tomasic is here to clean up the mess. Nick Pastor to the plate. First pitch, called strike. And the big goal here is don't dig the hole any deeper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's already in a lot of trouble here. Now you just have really good hitters back-to-back with Pastor, Sharkus, Liam. If you can get that far. Pastor kind of feels like he's due. We'll see if he can continue to add on to this. Almost feels like Mammoth onslaught in just this particular inning.
Tomasic looks over at first. Pitch, fouled straight back, 0-2.
And again, it's really important to get ahead of a guy of Pastor's caliber because he can do so much damage when he gets ahead in the count. If you can just find a way to get out of this, you're still technically in it, though it is going to be a hard task going against that lethal Mammoths bullpen towards the back end.
The 0-2. This is high and away, a ball and 2 strikes.
I don't mind that miss there. Fastball up, nothing Pastore can do with that pitch. I think that's a well-located and good pitch decision there by Tomasic.
Especially after all the walks from Ballman, you just want to attack the zone.
No, for sure.
And there's only been 2 Mammoth hits this inning, and they've both been singles. But when you walk as many as they did, they become lethal.
Oh, yeah, walks can haunt, and they've definitely haunted the Unicorns in this inning for sure.
1-2, runner off to second, called strike, no throw. So a strikeout for Tomasic. Anthony Sharkis will come up to the plate. Excuse me, no, that is out number 3. Pardon me, as that gets them out of the frame, and the 3 runs come across to score. It's 5-2 Westside here on the USPBL Network. Mammoths hold a 5-2 lead over the Utica Unicorns as Aaron Evers comes into the game for Westside. He gets the pitch with the lead and try to keep the Unicorns at bay as the 2-3-4 hitters come up in the Unicorn lineup.
Yeah, Aaron Evers is definitely a guy you don't want to see if you're an opposing hitter. He has a 4-seam fastball, curveball, slider, four-seam fastball, curveball, changeup, sinker is the pitch repertoire for Aaron Evers. And those pitches, especially that fastball and sinker, can go up into the mid to high 90s. Definitely a lethal pitch for any opposing hitter to have to face.
Aaron Evers, the 6'2", 205-pound Stonewall, Louisiana native, as he gets the pitch with the largest lead any Arms had tonight. Have to imagine his job's come in, throw strikes, and just end any hope for the Unicorns.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Aaron Evers' stats overall, he's in the top 5 in almost every pitching stat. He's been that good this year. And it's kind of like what we said earlier. If you get to a situation, if you're the Unicorns, where it's late in the game and you got to try to score runs off of Evers or Bo Atkins or any of those guys, you could be in a lot of trouble. And here's Evers in this bottom of the 8th inning to see if he can kind of continue the stonewall that this pitching has done for this Woolly Mammoths pitching staff.
And the biggest number is the 2 walks in 15 innings of work. He is in and around the zone and does not give out a lot of free passes.
No, I mean, if you can complement electric stuff with strike throwing, you're going to have a lot of success, and that obviously shows in pretty much every statistic that Aaron Evers has.
So Demetrol, Baggett, and Weber, you don't have to get all 3 back, but boy, would it sure be nice to get 1 or 2 back this inning.
Yeah, you got to find a way to get yourself back into striking distance. Now, so much easier said than done against the caliber pitcher that Evers is. But again, this is the part of the lineup where you could potentially do some damage with your 2, 3, 4 guys.
Demetrol, 0 for 3. He's worn the hat already. Shows bunt, pulls back for ball 1. 95 on the gun with the fastball from Evers.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. When you get to those mid-90s fastball, and his sinker runs pretty well in the 90s too. It's just a dangerous, dangerous combination to have.
Next pitch, middle, 94 for strike 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like some of these guys have kind of been used to seeing a lot of the 80s, especially because of the sliders that both Lee and Zaborowski feature. But now you have Aaron Evers comes in who's pumping mid-90s. It's like, where did this velocity come from?
Rolls over the fastball. Couple of taps of the glove on to Liam, and it's out number 1.
And again, that's kind of all you need. When you have that kind of speed, especially when you use the sinker, you can generate a lot of ground balls. That one right to Colby Seltzer. Easy scoop and just a maybe 2-step throw there, and got Demetral pretty easily.
Patrick Baggett has a single, but that feels like a lifetime ago back in the first inning. First pitch misses up high, ball 1.
Yeah, I think if someone told Baggett that you were going to get hit by a pitch in this game and only it was one time, I think you're kind of happy that it wouldn't be Aaron Evers in this case scenario because of how much he throws. Now, hopefully I don't jinx Baggett and get him hit here because I would feel very bad about that. But, I mean, at this point, you kind of just have to bear down, see if you can get that heat in the middle and see if you can do some damage with it.
2-0. Swing and a miss on the fastball. 2-1.
Yeah, 93 on the outside part of the strike zone. Not a whole lot you can do there if you're Baggett.
Evers works quickly and efficiently. 2-1. Just a hair outside. 3-1, and I'll get on any way you can.
I got to be honest, this kind of feels like a take no matter what, unless it's like maybe right down the middle. You need to try to find a way to get on.
Big swing. He was trying to put himself in scoring position. Comes up empty on the challenge fastball, and the count runs full.
He did throw it middle, like I said, and Baggett took a massive swing, but just couldn't connect on that 93 heat.
3-2, wave and a miss. Fastball is humming for Evers tonight. He gets the punch out, and it's 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a victory if you can even get a piece on that. And Baggett did just kind of slightly tick it, but caught then by Hank Dodson to record the strikeout there, and a quick 2 outs for Aaron Evers.
Brings up Jared Weber. He's reached 3 times, twice on an error, so officially 1 for 2 today.
And again, he goes right back to that paint. Fastball up and in that corner. Jared Weber, he's going to have a quick bat if he wants to get to that pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that one was way up there. Some guys get that kind of light up on the eyes, but Weber did a nice job controlling it to make sure that he did not chase that unhittable pitch.
1-1. Who? Well off the plate. Evers went with the breaking ball, and, well, it broke. Just started off the plate and ended up behind the left-handed batter's box.
Yeah, I think that was the first slider that Evers has thrown in this game. I feel like it's a little weird going away from that heat because it's been so effective. But again, when you're facing a guy like Jared Weber, it does make sense in theory.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Weber's just kind of got to find a way to get on base any way he can here.
3-2. Austin Ochoa would be next, although he has not had a banner day. 0 for 3. Strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out.
I can't imagine that high fastball is a good feeling when you see Aaron Evers heat. That feels like one where it's like, okay, I want to get out of this batter's box as soon as I can.
Ball 4. Weber reaches, and Ochoa has a chance to spark a 2-out rally.
Yeah, good at bat there. Was ahead of the count pretty much the entire way, but drew the count full. And it was a really good job by Weber, making sure that he didn't chase a bad pitch there and gets on base. And who knows, maybe Ochoa can do some damage here and maybe cut into this Mammoths lead that they grew in this 8th inning.
A gap shot would work wonders. Or now you just need a single as the wild pitch moves up Weber into scoring position.
Yeah, definitely uncharacteristic from Evers here. We talked about how he does really good job with not only what his pitch types are, but locating those pitches. He lost Weber there on the walk and threw a wild pitch there. It's just very un-Aaron Evers-like.
1-0. Ground ball to the left side. Weber being waved, no, held up at third. The throw in is cut off. Cedeno was on it in a hurry. That was probably the right call, although I would have understood the aggressive send there.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the right call. I mean, yeah, it's the 8th inning, and you could use any run you could get, but you can't afford to get thrown out at home there when you have a chance to score runs that you desperately need. I think you just at this point have to trust your offense and Jose Aquino here to come through with a big at-bat here for his Unicorns.
Runners on the corners, 2 away. Long ball ties it. Strike one called, 93 down the pipe.
Yeah, I feel like Evers would like to live a little more on the corners than he has, but again, he's been kind of wild, he's been kind of sporadic, and again, you kind of have to try to find a way to get in that strike zone whatever way you can, even if that is middle.
The 0-1 goes to 1-1. Aquino ripped a ball down the left field line his first time up. Since then, a fly out and a ground out. Evers comes set. The pitch. Check swing, went around, 1-2.
I mean, that's just nasty. That fastball sinker combo. They both run in very similar speeds. That one was right in the corner, in the bottom corner of that strike zone there against Aquino, and he'll take his time just kind of say, like, okay, I can't get that pitch again, or I'm probably not going to do a whole lot with it. But again, you're kind of just trying to test out to see what Evers has here.
Fastball not offered at. I like the idea there. Fastball that's just a tick above the zone. Nice discipline from Jose to lay it off.
Yeah, you have to take that pitch. There's nothing you can do with that pitch. Even if it's called a strike, there's nothing you can do. That's just too good of a pitch.
Breaking ball misses low and away. Aquino thought about it. Count runs full. So at least Ochoa will be off with the pitch.
Yeah, it's a huge moment here for Aquino. Maybe this can kind of turn around this Unicorns offense that we've talked about how stagnant it's been.
Foul ball. We'll have to do it again.
Feels like you've kind of gotten everything in this game. We've talked about the elite pitching throughout this game. Now we're seeing the offense kick in a little bit. In the 8th inning, the Mammoths scored a lot of runs. Now a lot of them were off walks. But again, you get the walk for Weber here to start this. Then you get the single by Ochoa. And who knows, maybe the Unicorns can rally here too. The all starts with a walk.
3-2. Lifted, right field, not deep enough. Fleming back near the track, and Evers pitches himself into the jam. He pitches himself out of the jam. A couple runners stranded for the Unicorns. We head to the 9th and final frame. The Mammoths lead at 5-2 on the USPBL network.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
Back here in the 9th inning. And Connor Tomasic stays out there just trying to get through this 9th as quickly as possible, keeping a 5-2 Mammoth lead.
Yeah, that was a tough inning, that last inning. Good job there by Tomasic to limit the damage, to make sure that more runs didn't score. And it kind of felt a little bit deflating for the Unicorns to then get runners on the corners but not really do anything about it. But again, you still have an inning, you still have a chance to rally. It's really important to make sure that you can get the 3 outs here and get the Unicorns back in the dugout to swing the bat and see if you can take this one.
Sharkus, Liam Seltzer coming to the plate. So, well, it's not off the table that the Mammoths added some insurance here in the 9th.
No, absolutely not. There are a lot of really good hitters that have not looked like really good hitters today because of how good this pitching's been. So you can never count them out.
Sharkus 0 for 4. Last 2 times up, he's gone down swinging.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see many stat lines where Anthony Sharkus is 0 for 4, and you definitely won't see many that are 0 for 5 if the Unicorns can get him here. But honestly, you just got to give a lot of credit to that Unicorn pitching staff for pitching a very good hitter very well throughout this game.
First pitch to Sharkus, rolls over, one foul, and he broke the bat. He's going to need a new piece of lumber.
Yeah, that stinks. That's going to come out of the old paycheck there for Anthony Sharkus. So it kind of feels like a bad day at the plate has kind of gotten a little worse, but maybe you never know. Maybe this new bat will change his fortunes for today, and maybe he can get on.
Grab a new piece of wood and then deposit one over the left center fence. Get some pine tar on it.
Oh, yeah.
Find that right formula.
It's the classic baseball superstitions. You never know what's going to work for you.
How about just to the right of the Chevy Pavilion, near the pennants out there? How about that brand new bat?
That would be a great way to break in that new bat.
He's already behind in the count, 0-1.
He is also looking for that first home run of the year that he still has not quite gotten yet.
Got missed a significant amount of time due to a lower body injury. The 0-1. Big wave and a miss. Bat dove out of the way of the bat. 0-2.
Yeah, not a whole lot you're going to be doing with that pitch. That pitch looks like it was maybe hitting that outside part of the plate that the umpire's been calling a lot in this game, and it just kept darting, and Sharkus just could not catch up to it.
The 0-2. Popped up, playable. Weber on his horse, runs out of room. That ball just kept carrying.
Yeah, it kind of felt like Weber or Kreisen was going to get to that ball and just kind of kept carrying, and it just snuck out, giving Sharkus another breath of new life here in this at-bat.
Oh, 0-2. Come set the pitch. High and away, easy take. 1-2 to Sharkus. Leadoff man here in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, I'd like that fastball to be a little bit more in the strike zone there to complement that slider better if you're Colucci.
He just can't find it.
And I meant to say Tomasic, not Colucci. My apologies. But the count does go back to 2-2, and Sharkus now gets himself back into a count where he can potentially do something here.
Goes the opposite way again. Off the bat, looked like it had a little more, but coming in, Aquino, and it's 1 up, 1 down.
Yeah, a decent job there by Sharkus to kind of battle back, but just couldn't quite barrel that one up. Pretty easy fly ball out to right there. And again, like we said earlier, not many days you're going to see Anthony Sharkus go 0 for 5.
Fox Liam to the plate.
Really the one Mammoth offensive player that's done a lot of damage in this game. 2-hit day for Fox Liam. Also drew a walk, and looking to see if he can add on to that here.
I only say he's the one batter, period, that's done a lot of damage.
No, absolutely.
A double, then struck out, but a single and a walk, throwing a stolen base there. Don't usually use the term stat stuffer in baseball, but that's what Fox has done today.
No, yeah, he's been really good. He's done pretty much all of it. He's been obviously doing the hitting and even doing the running a little bit, like you mentioned with that stolen base earlier. So Fox Liam kind of doing whatever he wants to do today. He's been the one guy, as you said, that's really had some success with the bat.
2-1, an advantageous count for Fox Liam.
I mean, yeah, if you're Fox Liam, why not get greedy here? You've already had a really good day. Might as well keep extending that, and you're in a really good count to do so.
Fouls it away. Back near the parking lot. Always get a little nervous when the balls go over there.
Yeah, I think the sound effect of the window shattering could be fitting when you hit the ball over there. So hopefully, for someone who's parked over there, hopefully there's no shattered glass or dent.
Hold my breath just a little more every time I go to my car.
Yeah, that would be an unfortunate evening for somebody.
2-2. That one popped up. That's not going to get to the parking lot. It's off the roof. 2-2.
Yeah, Fox Liam might not be making himself many friends here if he continues to hit the ball in that area. But again, whatever's been working for Liam, and his offense has been excellent so far in this game.
2-2. 3-2. Death taxes Fox Liam in a full count.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is pretty much what he always does. As you mentioned, he's just so good drawing pitch counts, getting hits. He really just is a very good overall hitter.
League leading 25 walks goes to 26. That was a pitch that a few innings ago maybe was a bit borderline, but Fox Liam works his second walk of the night.
Yeah, it feels like that. The one thing about that outside pitch, it feels like it's been more called on the righties than it has been the lefties. And again, Fox Liam does a really nice job. He's not going to swing out of the strike zone on a bad pitch, and he'll gladly take his walk and bring it up to Seltzer.
Brings up Colby Seltzer. First pitch. Low outside part of the zone with the fastball, 0-1.
Again, a lot of Mammoths players with really weird stat lines. Almost every day, a lot of these guys have at least one hit. Most of them have 0 this evening.
There's a borderline pitch that catches the zone, 0-2, and Colby will take a timeout.
I mean, that one, according to our strike zone, is definitely on the paint. That's just a really, really good pitch by Tomasic.
The 0-2, 1-2.
Whatever you can do to battle to continue to extend these at bats with 1 out in this Woolly Mammoths offense. You never know. They could completely blow this open.
1-2 offering. Misses away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I like the idea by Tomasic there. See if you can get that change or chase on that slider. But it was one of the keys I mentioned earlier. See if you can get the chase from these Mammoth bats, and they just have not been biting. It's been a really good hitting approach in that regard.
Swing and a miss. Perfect pitch at the bottom of the zone, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, that's one where it kind of feels like it's either a strikeout or a double play. I think if you're the Mammoths, you'd rather just take the strikeout at that point. And now it brings up Cedeno with a chance to maybe extend that inning.
16 strikeouts for Unicorn pitching as Liam will move up. We'll give him a stolen base. If you want to be a stickler, that might be defensive indifference, but
yeah,
or a wild pitch.
That's probably a defensive indifference, but you know what? Let's just give it to Fox Liam. He's been having a great night. Let's just make the guy's night even better. Why not?
One ball, 1 strike. Jose Cedeno. Foul tip back to the screen, 1-2.
I feel like we don't talk about this enough, but thank goodness for the protective netting. That one came in pretty quick. That one could have done some damage to a fan had it not been there. So shout out to the protective netting. I feel like it doesn't get enough love sometimes.
There's a lot of it here at Jimmy John's Field.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
probably
there
90
is.
feet high. As Cedeno swings through one up in the zone, and the Unicorns, they need 3 in the bottom of the 9th. Otherwise, they drop this Thursday night matchup to the Mammoths. We'll come back with the bottom half of inning number 9 here on the USPBL Network.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
back here on the USPBL network as the Mammoths are looking to close it out, and they're bringing in the hammer of a right arm from Riverton, Illinois. Bo Atkins comes into this game to slam the door and kill all the hopes of a Unicorn comeback.
Yeah, Bo Atkins is another really tough batter out of this, or pitcher out of this Mammoths bullpen. Atkins normally pitches with a four-seam fastball, curveball, slider, and splitter, which a few guys have in this league, but one I feel like we don't see all that often from many pitchers. And again, kind of like I talked about earlier in this game, if you get to a position, if you're the Unicorns, where you're down and you have to face Evers and Atkins, you're going to be in a really tough spot to come back, and that's the situation that we now find ourselves here with Atkins in this ninth inning.
Here's the peculiar thing about Atkins's numbers: low walks, high strikeouts, but a very high batting average against in the 240s. So when he does get hit, he gets hit rather hard, but he often misses bats and can pitch himself back out of the jam.
Yeah, which is also weird to me because his stuff is very good as a reliever. So I don't know. Normally when you see guys with that high of ERAs and stats, it's because normally they struggle with the walks. But as you mentioned, that really has not been Atkins' problem. It's just guys have been able to hit his stuff for whatever reason. So hopefully for Atkins' sake, he limits the hits here and can continue to pound that strike zone like he's done the rest of the season so far.
He will face Kreisenschmack and Enos. Those are the scheduled hitters. On the bench, Sam Badurus and Tyler Shin could be called upon.
That'd be a really tough spot to come in. Hey, you're cold off the bench. Here's Bo Atkins you have to face. That's a tough call if a manager comes calling to you to tell you that.
And Kreisen's trying to avoid the sombrero. 3 punch-outs, all swinging.
Yeah, it's been a tough night really for a lot of different Unicorns, not just Kreisen.
Certainly been one to forget as the first pitch misses low and away, a 94-mile-per-hour fastball.
And again, I mean, whatever you do, you cannot chase here against some of these really good electric arms. That was a good job by Kreisen taking that first fastball outside.
Second one misses out as well.
It's crazy.
2-0.
It's crazy how we talk about that, right? Oh, Atkins throws a lot of strikes. First 2 pitches are both balls.
Right.
Always seems to be that way.
And in the motion, the 2-0. 3-0.
And really none of those were particularly close either. He's missed by a lot on all 3 of those pitches, and that's the fastball.
You never, ever, ever want to walk the leadoff man in a comeback effort in the ninth.
Absolutely not.
3-0 swing, and it's a broken bat, and it pulls Liam off the bag. The range of emotions from, wait, he's swinging 3-0 to, oh, he hit it hard to, wait, no, he broke the bat to, oh, the throw's offline. And what comes out of all that is I think they'll give him a single for that, maybe an error. No, they put an error up on the board. So it will be an E6, but a runner aboard, and at least for the Unicorns, that tying run is out of the dugout and in the on-deck circle.
I mean, it worked out well. I don't exactly understand the thought process there, up 3-0, not having the best night, but hey, you got on base. That's all you can really ask for out of Kreisen, so he did his job.
Brings up Kyle Schmack, doubled back in the first. Drove in one of the 2 Unicorn runs.
Yeah, if you can repeat that in this at-bat, all of a sudden this game gets really interesting.
Pitch did not miss by much, goes to 2-0. If I'm Schmack, I'm waiting for a strike.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Atkins missed a lot in his last at-bat to Kreisen. I would just be sitting and taking here.
Shows what we know, 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're not in the batter's box, right? We predict, oh, you know, it's 3-0 to start the at-bat. Definitely should take. Hits the dribbler, gets on base. 2-0 now to Schmack. Swings and fouls it off.
2-1. 3-1.
Man, that looked like a really good pitch. That's a tough break there if you're Bo Atkins. That looked pretty good.
Most of the generosity was used up in the first 6 innings.
I think so.
3-1. Tying runs at the plate in the form of Ryan Enos.
I like this idea a lot by Dodson to go out to talk to Atkins. Settle him down. You're still in an all right situation. Pitching coach is also going to come out to talk to Bo Atkins here. And look, you're still a double play away from putting yourself in a very good spot. So you just got to try to way to find that control, continue to harness that command, and see what you can do to get out of this. Because right now, it's not looking so pretty for the Mammoths.
I believe Nate Blaine is getting loose in that Mammoth pen in case of emergency.
Yeah, I think that if you were to ask the Mammoths, they would hope that they would not get to that situation. They would hope to just finish it off here, but at this point, it's getting dicey. You got the first two guys on, you got nobody out. The top of the order is looming after Enos here. You got to find a way to get this out, no matter what. And look, Enos isn't going to make that easy for you, so you're going to have to make sure you pound the strike zone, make sure you hit those corners, do what the Mammoths pitching has really done all game to get them to this point.
First pitch. Well, that's where you need to start. 91 over at the knees, and maybe took just a little off to find that command.
Yeah, I think you got to live in the low end part of the strike zone. That's the way you can get that ground ball to get that double play. This is definitely where Atkins should continue to be living throughout this at bat.
Slider away, 1-1.
Again, you probably need that pitch a little bit closer to the strike zone to make a guy like Ryan Enos consider it. That's just really a non-competitive pitch there. No one's going to swing at that one.
1 ball, 1 strike, and that one's lifted up. Infield fly rule should be in effect. It is. Williams Nelson brings it in for safekeeping, and that's the first out here in the 9th.
That is a absolutely massive out for Bo Atkins. Keeps the runners at first and second, and all of a sudden you're a ground ball to shortstop or second base away from high fives and handshakes at the mound. So, again, very good at bat and very good action there for Bo Atkins.
Cam Farrar, 0 for 4. If he can find a gap, for heaven forbid he finds one over the fence, this game's tied. 0-1.
Went with the breaking ball there, caught a lot of middle. I would be very wary of doing that here.
Likely coming back with the fastball after showing him a pretty pitch off speed. That's what he does, lifts it, right field. Fleming coming over towards the line, foul ground, makes the catch just shy of the bullpen. Shows off the cannon, the tag, didn't get him. Oh, Drew Fleming, you had no business making that a close play, and he nearly ended the game with that throw.
What a throw. I mean, it's not going to get talked about very much because of the fact that he did slide in safely, but oh man, that ball was right in the middle of third base. The fielder's glove didn't even move. He just caught it on the tag. He just barely snuck in there safely at third. What a throw by Drew Fleming. Oh, my.
And his body was taking him away from third. He was coming in on an angle more akin towards the first base dugout when he caught it. Again, the fact that it was even a conversation is ridiculous. So there's 2 away. Moving up on the defensive indifference is Kyle Schmack.
He was right by that wall, too. His heel almost hit the back of the wall. He almost tripped over. That's how close he was. But he just absolutely threw a strike at the third and just couldn't quite get the runner.
Now, he was a pitcher in college, so he's got the arm, but oh boy, that was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell that Drew Fleming has a cannon just by looking at him. He's one of those guys.
And now the Unicorns down to their final strike with that slider.
Yeah, Andre Demetral going to have to try to find a way to extend this game. Get on base any way you can. And if you can, that gets you to guys like Patrick Baggett and Jared Weber. So we'll see what will happen.
Atkins comes set. 2 on, 2 away. The pitch. In the dirt, 2-2.
Good stop by Dodson there, too, to make sure that ball didn't get away. Again, that's kind of one that would go straight back, so I'm not sure the Unicorns would really risk running out at home there with a ball that wouldn't kick that far away, but still a very good stop by Dodson nonetheless.
2s are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 on in a 5-2 game. Swing and a miss. Atkins rears back, gets the punch out, and the Mammoths, with 3 runs in the top of the 8th, knock off the Unicorns to start off the weekend with a win.
I mean, ultimately, an outstanding pitching performance by the Mammoths. Connected all the way back from Zach Zaborowski to Jacob Meyer to Aaron Evers to Bo Atkins. They all were excellent in this game. Very complete effort there by the Mammoths. And as you said, a really important game to kind of expand that lead in the standings, but also just to get ahead of the Unicorns here. I've given you a little bit of trouble this season, and now you got the advantage going into that doubleheader on Saturday.
That win puts the Mammoths a full game ahead of the Diamond Hoppers, and it puts them 2.5 up on these Utica Unicorns. Brendan, any final thoughts? I thought we saw 2 great starting pitchers, some timely hitting from the Mammoths, but they were able to outlast the Unicorns and get a big win here on a Thursday night.
No, I mean, as you said, the pitching was absolutely outstanding. Guys hit when they needed to in the 8th inning for the Mammoths. The mistakes probably hurt both sides a little bit. Probably will still be regretting that one a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's the Mammoths that came out on top in a very, very well-pitched game by both these teams who are really good, who could easily meet up again in the championship game later in the year.
Well, tomorrow night, it's the Friday Fireworks Spectacular. It's the 2 teams that we didn't see tonight, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. It's a 7:05 first pitch. Make sure to tune in for that. As for us, that'll do it for tonight. For Brendan Pagel, I've been Brady Beaton. Thank you to everyone in the booth that made tonight possible, and thank you for letting us be a part of your Thursday night. The Mammoths get the 5-2 win over the Unicorns. You've been watching USPBL Baseball. Hope you all have a safe and wonderful night.